Hello and welcome back to Paul for Initiative, the tabletop role-playing stream where the audience influences the story. I, of course, am not your DM, Ben and/or Benjamin, as I'm known on the internet. And with me, I have Seth, otherwise known as NB Banshee, who will in fact be your DM today. Go ahead and say hi to everyone, Seth.
Hello. Anyway, welcome back. How are you guys doing after that first episode? I heard you guys liked it, I think it went pretty good. I can't believe it's already been a week. It really doesn't feel like that much time has passed to me, but it might just be because I've been really, like, anticipating playing again. So, I don't know. I'm really excited. And like,
I hope you have more priestesses lined up to be crumpled into little paper balls.
Yeah,
I personally,
sure.
That was my favorite part. I
Yeah.
hope we get more people getting crumpled up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean,
That's actually how this campaign's gonna end, guys. I specifically told Seth, I want you to end the campaign by crumpling Alestain up like a little paper ball.
Okay. Hey, and you know what? That may or may not come true. We'll see, you know? I don't know. So the way that we typically do like recaps, well, at least in Bedlam, you made me do it, and then when I didn't remember, you just did it. So I don't know if you want me to do it or if I should do it.
You're the DM. You decide.
Yeah, I guess I'll do a little.
You're calling the shots right now.
I'll just do a fun little recap.
The very bottom of the chat is cut off on the bottom of the screen, by the way.
I see that. Listen, all of us are just getting the hang of.
It's okay.
No,
I'm just trying to pull them out of the void. They're not. They've been in the void too much.
Maybe I should.
From my streams.
All right. Well, I think only some of you are gonna be able to be on at a time then. So the top message is gonna get cut off, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Anyway,
I'm here for you, chat. I got you covered.
Thanks. Yeah. Again, I'm trying. We're all learning.
You're so fine.
Anyway, you guys want a little recap before we get into this episode? Let's see.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me play maybe a little bit more.
Recap number 1. Alestain was the coolest and best written character of all time. Whoa, that's in the recap?
Whoa. How'd that get in there? Oh, so loud again. Well, how'd that get in there? Who wrote these notes, actually?
Not me.
Wow.
I wasn't taking any notes. I actually don't know what happened last session.
Oh, okay. You need me to tell you what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, tell me in the chat. We're all confused.
Okay, well, just a little recap. So last session we started with our little the little pre-Oasis orphans and their sort of heist that led to Alestain and Amber being adopted by blood hunters, by Kestrel, the leader of the blood hunter Dragonhold in the Black Mountains to the north of Kala. We skipped ahead to an interesting scene of a little glimpse into some of the trials, tribulations, and things that may have happened to Alestain during his time there, though we didn't dwell on that.
I almost spat in an orc person's face, but my spit game isn't good enough.
Yeah,
but I almost did.
When your lungs are filling with blood, you feel like you can only, spit so far. We saw Alestain leave Dragonhold, say goodbye to one of his only remaining friends, steal a horse, who you have thusly named Obsidian.
Obi.
Obi for short. You traveled through some treacherous terrain until finally arriving home in Rion. You got to see some old friends again for the first time in 6 years. You learned that not all was well in your absence. Your friends, the and the newest members of Oasis have gone missing in an event that you still haven't learned too much about. And, you know, just right at the end, you know, you had to deliver some letters, and, you know, you went to a temple, and,
And nothing happened.
Something happened. Yeah, you know what? And nothing happened at the end.
Yeah.
Actually.
Everything was fine.
You just delivered the letters.
Everything was really cool,
and
actually.
everything was great and fine. There was a prophecy, and you learned that, well, a priestess told you that Soul had chosen you to be her champion. And then something really normal happened to her, and now blood covers your boots as you stand in a temple full of light. But before we move back to that scene, and don't worry, we will, we start in the past. Let me play some more, I don't know, appropriate music, actually.
Past music.
Past music, if you
Music
will.
that only exists in the past.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna play kind of general. Yeah. I feel like this music is pretty good for just generally things in Kala. It's like a desert, you know? We start 6 years in the past. We kind of pan overhead on Kestrel, the orc person, riding atop a horse, sort of two children. They didn't particularly anticipate bringing two children back with them, so there is only one horse. It is Kestrel, and then you and Amber kind of in front of them as they ride through the storms, returning to Dragonhold. For the very first time, Amber and Alestain ascend the Black Mountains. You see Mount Cinderfall for the first time, the snow and ash mixing together and falling as one. We see, you know what, let me actually, I have a scene for this. Probably
Fancy.
be better to look at. Where is it? That's the thing about having a lot of, scenes is like...
Yeah, I don't know why you do it.
Well, because it's fun, and it gives you it gives you a good idea of the what you're looking at. Oh God, why?
No, I'm teasing you.
Why is the
it's
chat
really cool.
stupid again? Hold on. Fuck.
Oh no.
Can't do anything. There we go. That's gonna be annoying if that happens every time. Anyway. You arrive at the gates of Dragonhold for the first time. This mountainous fortress built into the mountain itself. Massive in size, cold, dark stone, old, ancient. You know not how old Dragonhold is, but it does not appear to be... You don't think that it was built by blood hunters. It seems like this sort of fortress was repurposed, though long out of use when they arrived. Walking up into the main courtyard, you see standing in the doorway a woman. Dark hair. Skin that was once tanned by the sun, but is now pale in an unnatural way. Eyes bright yellow. You see she has a sort of hooked nose and a coldness in her eyes, though her face remains neutral. You see Kestrel lifts the two of you off the horse, brings you inside. They introduce this woman to you as Amara, one of the other leaders of Dragonhold. They explain to you there are different orders in this place. And in this moment, they take a moment to decide your fate. As you and Amber...
While they do that,
Mm-hmm.
Alestain whispers in a low tone Alestain whispers to Amber in a low tone, "Yellow eyes. That means she's only been drinking animal blood."
She says, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Just shh, don't let her notice.
She looks at you completely fucking confused. Absolutely incredulous. Although you see, she has always been more perhaps inquisitive. You see, while you perhaps are focused on what is happening in front of you, she is like taking in the space. The two of you are very small in this cavernous chamber.
I think he's definitely looking around too, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's empty in here, and it's cold. In a place like this, of course it's cold, but there is no decoration to make it less cold, more inviting. There are sconces on the walls, but not for warmth. It's purely just for light, for those who cannot see in dark places. You see that you see Kestrel and Amara speak in hushed tones. You're not privy to the decision of your future, unfortunately. You see, focusing on Kestrel for a moment, you see that they close their eyes and sort of tilt their head for a moment, like they're listening to something that only they can hear. And after a few minutes, they turn to you and declare that you will join their order, leaving Amber to go with Amara. You see, Amber instinctively does not want to leave with this woman and does not want to leave without you.
Alestain also is like, "What? No, we stick together."
Kestrel says, "You will remain together. This place is large, but you will cross paths. You will not train together. You will not be in the same order. But all blood hunters are family. Take solace in this fact." You see, Amara, she does not smile, but there's something like curiosity in her eyes as she assesses Amber. You see, she seems to be content with whatever she finds, sort of takes Amber by the arm and leads her away. Amber sort of turns to look at you as she follows down the hallway, and with the sort of like, "Don't worry," like the connection that the two of you have. The words aren't always necessary. You get the vibe of like, I'm going with this lady because this is what this is what our life is right now, but like,
I think
it's okay, basically.
I think they must have like a thieves' can't, like little hand signals they can give each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he signals her, "See you later."
Mm-hmm. She signals, "I'll find you." And it's like, "I'll find you and like wait for me." And as they disappear down a darkened corridor, Kestrel turns, and without really any like direction, just sort of starts walking down a hallway. And you like assume you're supposed to follow them. They lead you in the opposite direction, down another darkened hallway. This place is very winding. A lot of the hallways looking the same. And you walk for a while down a few flights of stairs, until you come to a sort of small, narrow hallway with wooden doors, sort of staggered across each side. And you see as they open a door into a small bedchamber. Familiar. The bedchamber is not as cold as the rest of this place seems to be. There are furs in here, There is a makeshift bed. This place, at least, is a little bit comforting. Perhaps not to you, but to some. Though, sort of in opposition to that, Kestrel does not say anything comforting. They hardly say anything at all. They turn to you. Rest. Your training begins at sunrise. That is all.
What's training?
You say they sort of like rest. And before you head into the room,
I think they walk away, and it's just Alestain calling down the hallway like,
Wait, no, that doesn't answer my question. Like, I gotta know what I'm supposed to be preparing for if I'm gonna be preparing for something. Like if you're not gonna tell me, okay, all right, fuck you too, I guess.
it is late here. It is probably past midnight at this point. The halls are quiet. Though you see before they fully have like turned away from you, you see in the shadows behind them a figure. You see a few doors down from yours, a young gnome girl with dark hair and bright blue eyes peers at you from a darkened doorway, unblinking. And when Kestrel turns to leave, she is gone.
Great, we got a whole bunch of freaks in this fucking place.
And that is how you come to be in this place. That is your first night at Dragonhold. I think if Alestain sleeps if Alestain dreams when he is stressed, perhaps he has a restless sleep. We move from this place back to the current day. Back into that sunset-filled temple. Blood staining your boots. Completely silent. What do you do?
I think he stares at this dead priestess for a little while. Before he lights up another cigarette, puts it in his mouth, and snaps his fingers. Little bolt of lightning lights it.
Mm-hmm.
He says,
Well, that's a damn shame. See, here I was hoping I was gonna go at least another couple days without washing these boots, but seems I'm doing it today.
and he kicks off some of the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Are these like banisters on like the side of the wall here? Like on the side of the path here, like overlooking the church?
Yes. You can,
Like little wood banisters?
They are sort of like golden metal railings, yes.
And this is just like a stone floor or something?
It's like marble, yeah.
Okay. Are there any like curtains or anything around?
Kind of what you see in front of you is what you have. There are no curtains on these windows, as they are kind of always wanting to let the light in. But there are some rugs on the floor. There are some sort of tapestries.
I think he makes his way south a little bit toward this little alcove over here to look out the window.
Okay. Are you able to move, Alestain?
Oh yes, I can.
Okay, if you want.
And he moves over here.
Okay.
And as he gets over the rug, he makes a point to flick off the cigarette to get as much ash to fall on the rug as possible.
Are
and
you
he
gonna
says,
burn this place down?
No, not like he's not burning anything. He's just flicking ash everywhere.
Okay.
And he says,
So, if whatever did this is still listening, which I hope yous are, see this as one of two things. Either Some really powerful otherworld entity is fucking with me right now, taking the piss out of me, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he blows a big puff of smoke right in front of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
He says,
Or you really are soul.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, kind of a self-own to have to crumple up one of Soul's faithful just to speak with me, huh? But, hey, it's okay. I never been very good at my job either.
takes another hit, and he says,
Look, alls I'm hearing is a lot of excuses. Oh, gods don't control the fates. Gods don't control the prophecies. Oh, it's all the fates. Oh, so what you're saying is you're a bunch of useless middle managers.
blows one more puff, and he says,
Look, Soul, if I'm really talking to you right now, and if you can really hear me,
Are you praying?
then you've probably known me long enough. Hmm?
Are you praying, or are you just?
he's looking out the
speaking?
window at the sun.
Okay. Are you speaking with the intent for Soul to hear you?
Yes.
Okay.
And he says,
If I really am talking to yous. Wow. Didn't think I was worth your time of day. But if I really am, then you must know. I don't work for free, sister. So you can take your prophecy and shove it, alright?
and he flicks some more ash over the rug, drops his cigarette onto the rug, and waits a second for it to catch a little bit to burn the rug as much as possible before stomping it out.
Okay. The rug
Um,
burns, cinders, smolders, leaves a burned hole in the rug.
and I think he immediately starts looking for like a back door out of here or something.
As you stand here and speak to a goddess in her temple, hoping that she can hear you, you see, it was getting later in the day, and as you look out the window, you see pink, just the beginnings of the sunset. And as you begin to look for a way out, you hear the bell toll. And you can see out the window as everyone stops. And just like when you arrived in the city, everyone does their prayers, their sunset prayers to Soul. Give me a straight intelligence check.
Okay. Well, he's not very smart. 5 plus 2.
7.
Oh, wait, no, not plus 2, plus 0.
5.
He's got average intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes you a minute to realize you should probably look downstairs for an exit. So you look around on the top floor for a few minutes. Do you do anything, by the way, to the body of this priestess, or you're leaving her alone?
Oh, is her body like...
Yep.
I assumed it was like flesh at this point.
No, so all her bones broke. She crumpled to the floor in a heap. Basically all of her blood has pooled and is now beginning to drip over the banister onto the first floor.
Okay. But like... I guess I could search her clothes, see if she has anything, I suppose.
There's a big pool of blood, so if you intend to search her, you will have to be careful not to get any more on your shoes. But if you would like to search her body, you can.
I mean...
You can get creative with it. You already burned that rag.
I don't think he's really too concerned about interacting with the body. I think he just wants to get out of here.
Okay. You leave the rug burned, untouched.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He intended to cause a bit of a mess.
Okay. You head back to the first floor. And it is when you arrive back after you kind of get down the stairs. Give me a quick history check.
Okay. Nat 1, baby. Rolled a 1. I don't
Fantastic.
think I've ever opened a history book, actually.
Awesome. So you come down the stairs. Let me
I what? Sorry.
Yeah, you bust. And then you come down the stairs. So you are sort of in the heat of the moment, perhaps. Something entirely strange and horrible has just happened in front of you. Though perhaps you do not seem so shocked, perhaps, as someone else might be. And in this moment, you are not perhaps thinking about any other implications of timing, awareness, where you are. And so when you get to the bottom of the stairs, it perhaps surprises you to hear people approaching the temple. A crowd. You look to the book sitting on the altar, and in this moment, it dawns on you. You are in the temple of the goddess of light at sunset, when they do prayers and perhaps mass. People are going to be here in the next couple of seconds, if you're lucky.
All right. So here's the strat. He's going to immediately duck into the pews and attempt to kind of like dodge and weave his way through the pews to get to the front of the church and like blend into the crowd as they're entering.
Okay. So you rush for the nearest pew. You can move your token where you'd like to.
Oh. Well, I mean, I want to go to the very front of the church, so I don't know what part of that I get to before I have to do a roll or something.
You are...
Also, my token's huge.
I know. I made him pretty big because the space is like... The tiles on this map are really small, and I want you to be able to see the token. I mean, I guess I could zoom in, but I just wanted you to be able to see, like, the map.
He's a big old guy.
You know?
Alestain's actually 10 feet tall. Did you know that, chat?
Yeah, he's a large boy.
He actually fills up 2 squares, so he is a large. He's what's known as a huge creature.
So you see, give me a quick perception check as you make a dash for the first pew.
Oh, that one I rolled good on. You said perception?
Yes.
19.
Awesome. So as you make a dash for this first pew, you notice the only other exit, it seems like, other than the one you entered, is a door on the other side of the hall. You entered near the sun, and you see over here by the star on the floor, there is another exit. You're not sure if it leads further into the temple or outside.
Are these both exits?
Yes. So you entered through this one by the sun. Here, let me zoom this one out a little bit. You entered here. This door by the sun on the floor.
I see that there's a window above it. I think that suggests that perhaps light is coming in. So that's probably an exit, right?
That is the one you entered from, the one with the sun. The star, the one directly across from that, is the other
I thought
exit.
For some reason, you know, this is a moment where like it would have been nice for me to have the map zoomed out on my end because I had it zoomed in. I had just been assuming that the bottom of this map was the entrance, but nope, there's a big old statue down there.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, then he mad dashes for that then.
For the opposite exit?
Yep. Although that window doesn't have light coming out of it, so that's probably not a good sign.
But nonetheless, you make your way. You give me a... I'm not sure what to ask for. Give me... Are you trying to be quick or quiet?
Yeah. Well, trying to just move through the pews silently and get out of there.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Okay. Oh, thank God, he's proficient in stealth too. So, 14 plus 4, 18.
Okay. You
Scamper check.
you are like dipping and dodging and weaving through these pews. And I'll say you
I'm stupid as shit, but I know a thing or two about scampering.
You make it to the door, jiggle the handle. Luckily for you, it is unlocked. I'll say you just make it inside as the doors on the opposite end open and people begin to filter inside.
Okay.
This other door was not an immediate exit. It leads further into the temple. You are now in a hallway with similar rows of windows. Although at the end of the hall, it sort of branches, sort of a T intersection. You're sort of walk in, there's hallway more in front of you and hallway to either side of you. And there are doors basically on every side of you. Which door?
So there's 3 other doors,
Yes.
one in each cardinal direction.
Yes, and windows line the walls in each direction as well.
Do I see the sunset peeking in through any of the windows?
Yes, from the windows on your right.
Then I try the door on the right.
Okay. Are you being silent in this place as well?
Yes.
You hear the voices from the door behind you get louder as more people filter in. Give me a perception check and then your stealth check.
Okay. Perception 11?
Okay. Yeah, you just hear people entering the temple and speaking. And that is all you hear as you silently make your way, or as you attempt to silently make your way through what you hope to be an exit.
But stealth I did 21, so
Oh, fantastic.
still very sneaky.
You're a shadow in this house of light. You make your escape. You open the door. It is a lower balcony. And there is, you can see it's sort of on a side courtyard that leads further into the temple district. It leads into a sort of a little courtyard that seems to be empty for now. Although it's about a 10-foot drop.
Wait, so this is like you said this is a balcony?
Yeah, it's a sort of low balcony into this courtyard that leads into the rest of the temple district. And it's about 10 feet.
Interesting. So the temple district must be on like a slant.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first floor. I mean, can he like? I have in the like standard backpack they got rope.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just tie some rope to one of the banisters and just lower myself down?
Yeah. Give me an athletics check to maneuver down the rope.
Okay.
DC's like 12.
An athletics check. I got a 10.
Okay.
Not rolling well today, guys. I did all my good rolls yesterday. Not yesterday, last Monday.
So.
I'm gonna use a different die. This die is like kind of hard to read.
Fuck. I wish I had this pulled up immediately. But you tie the rope. You secure it. You're pretty confident in it. You begin to maneuver your way down, and about like a minute, you kind of get to the other edge, and the rope snaps, and you fall 10 feet.
Oh, I said I got halfway down.
Well, yeah, you get halfway down. You fall like 5 feet. All right.
Okay.
Um,
5 feet and 10 feet are very different.
Yeah.
10 feet, I take fall damage.
yeah, you fall 5 feet. You don't take any damage, but it's loud. Hey, hey, it's now quiet.
Yeah.
You look up and you can see there is still a piece of rope hanging from the balcony and the other rope in your hand. As you land, you twist your ankle a little bit. You're not hurt, but you're like, ow, fuck. You stand up. You've made some noise. You see the temple district in front of you. There's a door to your right that leads to, well, if the door above you was first floor, you're not sure where this other door would lead. But there's a door to your right, and in front of you, across about a 20-foot courtyard, is the rest of the temple district. You've made some noise. What do you do?
I mean, so it's just all courtyard in front of me except for this other door.
It's sort of like, it's got sort of like a half hedge situation. There's a little fountain in the center of the courtyard, and then on the opposite side of that is the exit to the temple district, and to your right there's a door that leads back into the temple.
I then hug the hedge and try to stay low and hope no one sees.
Give me a stealth check.
You gotta get away from the scene of the crime.
You're doing great so far.
I'm taking credit for killing the empress, not the empress, the priestess, by the
Oh,
way, because
okay. You definitely
because
killed her.
I'm having to deal with all the fucking fallout from it. I think I deserve to say that I killed the priestess. It was for my prophecy, after all. 13 plus 4, 17.
Okay. As you get to the edge of this hedge, right where the sort of entrances to this courtyard is, you see a temple guard drawn by the sort of clamor of your fall. What did you roll? You said you got a 17?
17, yeah.
You see that he walks into the courtyard, takes a look around, and immediately sees the rope and walks over to it. Does not see you by the hedge. And you manage to just evade him as you sort of skirt out of that situation. And where do you head?
Yeah, that's a pretty weird rope up there. Yeah, you should real focus on that.
Oh, you're gonna do you say that out loud?
No, he says it under his breath to himself.
Okay, great.
And then just get the fuck out of there.
Okay, where do you head? How quickly?
I mean, it depends if like I'm out of, like, am I like far enough away from the scene that like I can blend in with the crowd or something, or?
There are people, let me bring this up. There are people, you see a long line of people heading to the temple. And now that you're sort of outside of it, you're able to see, there's like a queue forming at the front. Although it doesn't look like patrons are being let into the temple just yet. It seems like they're sort of like lining up to be let in. So it doesn't seem like mass has started yet.
Seems like the line has halted because the first people in might have found something inside.
Do you stick around to see what perhaps will become of this situation,
no.
or do you make your escape?
I'm gonna just try to see if there's like any kind of like general people just like kind of wandering the streets that he can blend into, like people who aren't going to the temple. Just he's trying to blend in. I don't know how else to describe this.
You're in the temple district, so everyone here is sort of going to the temple. So if you're moving away, you're moving against the crowd. If you're trying to go into a crowd space, there are like sort of alleyways.
He can like.
There are sort of.
Okay, yeah, I would duck into an alleyway then.
All right. Let's give a better view here of the streets of Rion. You duck into an alley. You try to stay low, stay quiet, stay hidden. Don't be noticed. Where are you going? And do you do anything to cleanse yourself of the situation you were just in?
I mean, I don't see any water in this scene here.
I regret to inform you once again, there is blood on your boots.
Oh, fuck. He should have wiped off his boots on the rug. Oh, no. Damn it. That would have been so cool to stain her rugs with her own blood.
Boo. Can we retcon that?
It's too late.
I don't know. Is there like a rag he can grab and wipe them off?
Yeah, you pass by a building that has a lot of pottery and sort of tapestries and things. You sort of snag a red sort of cloth and use that to rub the blood off your boots.
Yeah, rub it off my boots, and then I really quickly run back to the church and throw it inside the church and run back because I just want to disrespect her a little bit more.
You run back to the church?
No.
No, go ahead. If you want to go back to the church, yeah. You want to get in line?
I'm just mad at myself for not causing more of a mess. Damn it, I was being so sassy too. I got distracted by my other sass. Yeah, I don't know, just wipe off his boot. I guess, am I like distant enough that I feel like I wouldn't draw attention being alone?
I'll say enough time has passed that you successfully get out of the temple district. So you're sort of heading towards Midtown in the East End currently.
Gotcha. Okay.
What is your next destination?
I mean, I think he says, well, that was very cute and very considerate of you, Soul. And then he says, but frankly, I don't give a shit. So, back to business. And he heads toward the orphanage.
Okay. You make your way east, past the gates, into the East End. Do you take any time? You see the sun has fully begun to set now. The sky fading from pinks to oranges to purples. It's not quite dusk, but it will be soon. It takes you... What is your pace as you make your way? Rion is a big city, so you're sort of going from one end to the other. So if you'd like to get to the orphanage before dusk, you're gonna have to hoof it.
No, I think he's fine, looking as casual as possible.
Okay. It takes you casually walking around, taking in the sights, blending into the crowds. Probably on foot. It's probably about a 45-minute walk. You make it to the orphanage just as dusk crests the sky, just the faintest hues of pink left. As you approach the orphanage, you stumble upon an interesting scene, maybe perhaps not something you were intending to see. Let us go there now together. You see, as you approach the orphanage, the streets in this part of town are... the orphanage is built right on the edge of Midtown, that sort of bleeds into the East End. So the streets here are gray and cobblestone, rather than the sort of yellow sandstone of the other buildings. The orphanage is big and it's cold, and it is meant to hold a lot of people. Well, a lot of children. Okay, anyway. So...
All right, weirdly barking in my ear.
So you make it to the orphanage just as dusk sets the sky. You see in front of the orphanage is a group of people. You see before you You see two women, a tiefling and a person whose race is sort of unknown. They have, they're sort of on the shorter side, white hair, sort of bluish gray skin, tattoos. And you see the tiefling is a dark red with sort of dark purplish hair, slicked back, horns that are curled but in a long, sort of slender, elegant loop. She's wearing sort of a red and gold shawl. And across from them is a man with dark, sort of tan skin, long, curly, flowing hair. You see he stands out a bit amongst this group. You see he is wearing a black...
Said gray hair?
For who?
For the man?
No. His hair is like a dark brown, sort of, like a dark copper almost. Not copper.
Sorry,
like
I'm like
dark
taking
bronze.
notes on these people as I go.
Yeah. You see, this man is dressed differently from these other people. He is not in a way that suggests like wealth, but in a way that suggests like he's sort of like, it's like seeing a goth in like out in public where there's no other goths, but not quite like he's not goth. It's just sort of that like, oh, like you like notice
Just
that.
wearing a lot of dark clothes.
So he's got a long black cloak or like sort of overcoat that is sort of gilded. And you see he's not wearing it like a jacket. He's just got it like over his shoulders. And you see it's held together by a sort of delicate gold chain. He's wearing a sort of white, billowy, flowing shirt. This man is dressed like how men dress when they want to be slutty. Does that make sense? He's got like a flowing, like long, like billowy white shirt. He's got tight black pants on.
Opal says the Howl special.
Yeah, guys, kind of similar. You see, he's got like nicer sort of dress boots on, but they've seen some wear. They're like scuffed a little bit. He's got a lot of rings on, and he's got a lot of like delicate like chains that sort of accentuate like his chest a little bit. And you see he's wearing
So I'm dealing with a harlot. Got it.
You see he's wearing circle glasses, but the lenses are like pink, and the rims and the metal of it is like a gold. And you see completely oppositely next to him is another man who is really rugged. Like he's wearing like a dirty-ish kind of like yellowish old shirt. He's got like a he's actually wearing a nicer version, or not nicer, but sort of a different version of the guards uniform. But it looks like tattered, like it's old, or like, you know, kind of been roughed up. You see he's got like short cropped hair, a scar on his cheek. He looks tired. This man has bags under his eyes. And you see sort of aside from these four, leaning against the orphanage, head bowed, sort of eyes closed, is another man, or person of sort of gender ambiguous. A he, they, perhaps? You see who has long brown hair with white in the front, very long, sort of pulled back.
Are they human though?
Yeah, they're human.
Okay.
And you see they're wearing sort of a white shirt with a cravat, sort of nice black pants. You see there's a book on a holster on their hip, and they're sort of like keeping out of whatever's happening. They seem to be like here, but not invested in whatever is going on. So those are the people you see in front of you. The eccentric man and the rugged man are having a conversation with the two women. And you see the woman with the white hair and the sort of grayish skin with the tattoos. She is yelling very angrily at these men.
Okay.
You see, you as you approach, you start to hear like sort of just like bits of their conversation. You hear the rugged man say like you catch like the end of his sentence, which is like, "Please be reasonable." And you see utter rage on this woman's face as she like stamps her foot and like grinds it into the ground, and she says, "Reasonable. My daughters are missing, Killian. This is me being reasonable." And you see he sort of like takes a step back and says like, "I know, and I'm trying my best to find them, and you know that." And she is like getting angrier and angrier, like with the more that he talks, the more like you see like steam come out of this woman's ears. Her like, you see like a vein in her neck like pop, and you see that
I think this whole time, by the way, Alestain across the street like leans against. These look like, are these like lamp posts?
yeah.
On the other side of the street, I think he just leans up against a lamppost. He wants to like watch how this plays out. He's like kind of crossing his arms and kind of smugly watching them.
Okay.
He's like rooting her on in his head.
You do not intervene.
No, I watch.
And so you see this woman is just like absolutely fucking furious. And you see the tiefling woman sort of, she reaches forward and puts a hand on the other woman, and she says, "Dearest, calm yourself. We know."
Oh my God, they're gay.
"You know they're trying their best. It's not his fault." And she turns and says, "Our daughters are missing, Hope. And he is not doing anything about it." And she says, "Niobe, calm yourself. It is all right." And you see she sort of like is like trying to calm down. You see the rugged man she referred to as Killian takes a step back. And you see the sort of eccentric, elegant man steps forward, and he says, "Niobe, I understand your frustration. Believe me, I do. And I know I am not someone with much experience in this sort of situation, but believe me when I say we are trying our best. We will find your daughters. I promise. On my life, we will find them. I will find them if it comes to that." And you see she sort of like is like trying to calm herself. She says, "The second you find something, you tell us, Ambrose. We deserve that much." And he says, "Of course." And she turns to the tiefling woman, and they sort of like hold hands, and you see the tiefling woman kind of like rests her forehead on the other woman's head and like sort of like breathe with her for a second. And she says like the tiefling woman turns to the woman, or the man indicated as Ambrose, and she says, "We will be where we always are. If you find anything..." And he says, "I know. Believe me, I know. I will try. You have my word." And you see they sort of... Fine. And the two of them turn and depart. You see they head west and disappear down the street. You see that the two remaining men on the street sort of begin You see Killian kind of looks at him and just like sort of like pinches the bridge of his nose. And you see the man indicated as Ambrose just says, well, that could have gone better, but at least she didn't punch you this time. And he says, I don't want to talk about it. I just...
So to be clear, Ambrose was the one that she indicated, like the guy that had all the gold chains and everything, right?
Yes.
And then Killian was the rugged-looking man with the bags under his eyes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you see the women, so the woman with white hair and tattoos was indicated, her name was Niobe.
Yes. And then Hope was the
and Hope
tiefling.
was the tiefling, yes.
Did they mention Iris and Daisy by name? I was taking notes, but I know they mentioned their daughters, but I don't know if they said that it was Iris and Daisy.
They didn't mention any names. They just said our daughters.
Okay. Well, that's the only 2 daughters we know about missing. 2 girls we know about missing. So I'm assuming they were talking about Iris and Daisy.
You see that the 2 men sort of just like continue to have like a hushed conversation. Do you continue to stand across the street, or do you approach at any point?
Am I able to hear them still?
They've sort of moved further towards the entrance and are speaking a bit quieter now. As you... What's a really funny way for him to enter this scenario? I think he... how long has it been, by the way, since the kids went missing? I think they said like 2 or 3 days. No,
like that.
it's been a week. It's been about...
Oh, it's been 1 week.
It's
okay.
It's been about 8 days at this point.
8 days. Okay. I'm gonna make a quick note of that.
You see, as you approach the orphanage, you see the front of it has been like roped off, and you see that like sort of down the ends of the streets, like at the ends of the street, there are some guards posted that seem to be like keeping a watch on this like street.
Okay. I think he approaches them and he says, "Does that mean it's my turn to yell at yous now, or do I take a ticket? How's this work?"
Are you indicating anyone specifically, or are you just saying this like to the group?
Just
of
the
them?
2 guys that are talking that were just being yelled at. I don't know what's going on with the 3rd guy. He seems to be like hanging out alone over there.
He's there, but he does not see. He's sort of like in the shadow of the orphanage, like not at all paying attention to what's going on here. And you see, as you sort of approach and indicate this to them, you see Killian turns around, already like exasperated, and he goes, "What? Who are you?" And you see Ambrose turns to you and kind of smiles and like laughs a little bit at what you said, and he says, "Would you like to yell? Have you something to yell to me about? There's been a long line today. You might as well."
He says, "Yeah, cover him up, slut." And he indicates his chest.
Do you really say that to him?
Yeah.
Oh my. He presses a hand to his chest and kind of like looks you up and down, and he goes, "Why? Do I make you nervous? It's all right. I make many men nervous. What's your name?"
He rolls his eyes and he says, "Look, I hear y'all ain't doing your jobs over here."
You see, Ambrose kind of is like a little bit like, he doesn't want to flirt with me anymore. And you see Killian goes like, "Can I help you? Like, this is a crime scene. Do you, like, if you need a guard, like, there's one at the end of the street. Like, or you can go to the stockade to report something. Like, we're in the middle of an investigation. Like, can I help you with something?"
He says, "Oh, it's being treated as an actual crime, huh? Interesting. Wouldn't have been that way a few years ago."
I'm sorry, who are you? Like...
Rip Van Winkle. Why does my name matter, huh?
You see he kind of crosses his arms, looks you up and down. You see he kind of looks at you and goes, what are you, like a mercenary? Like, sorry, we're not hiring right now. Like, I've got stuff to do. So if you want to, you know, go antagonize the authorities, like, why don't you fucking go to the stockades or something? I'm sure there's a board guard who'd love to hear you fucking bitch all day.
He says, oh, who's bitching? No, I'm here to help you do your job.
You see Killian kind of like runs a hand through his hair and like kind of pulls on it a little bit. Is like obviously very stressed out. And you see Ambrose kind of like slides in front of him and he goes, oh, you're here to help, are you?
This man, what the fuck is going on? This dude is so horny for Alestain.
Give me an insight check.
All right. What am I? Is this the check to see if he likes Alestain or if he's just a whore? 18 plus 4, 22.
You see that?
Alestain knows a lot about win game and flirt.
First of all, you glean that this is the man old Cyrus was telling you about. The historian advisor that he had mentioned, who was helping with the investigation. Who
And I assume the guy with him that's lurking in the shadows is that apprentice too, right?
Yeah. You can likely glean that from this. And just very obviously, like, and the way that he's speaking to you, you kind of remember when old Cyrus was like, you know, kind of, he was also rambling, but kind of talking about how this man, like, doesn't shut up, is very, like, eccentric and very, like, you know, the way that he said, like, when you said, oh, who's Ambrose? And he said, like, oh, you will know him, is kind of like, you're kind of like, oh, this guy just has, like, a really flirtatious and, like, boisterous, eccentric, like, personality, and that kind of,
but they also did say his name.
Yeah, oh, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, you're like, this guy is like, what's his deal? He won't stop flirting with me. I'm trying to say, like, that's kind of like just his thing. He kind of is like, that
flirts
with
everyone. Cyrus too.
You think that he probably flirts with every person that he speaks to. But yeah, so he goes.
I don't even remember what he said anymore.
He's too gay. He says, "Oh, you're here to help." Or, whoa, sorry, that was Cyrus. You're here to help. How might that be?
Said there's a lot of interested parties here, and I know this place better than the back of my hand.
Oh, were you an orphan? I understand. You see that he sort of like, he says that, and then he's like, oh, you might have like a personal interest in this, and it's like, I understand if you're concerned for parties involved, but unfortunately, this is a council matter, so we cannot, you know, allow you inside if that is what you're wishing.
He says, the council already let me inside. Step aside. And he flashes the badge.
Oh, my. A man with a badge. And you see Killian goes, you had a badge this whole time and you didn't... All right. Look. He goes, look.
I think at this point, he kind of grins smugly at Killian, because at this point, Killian has been such a fuck to him already. He's just kind of trying to get Killian's goat.
You see Killian is just like, all right, so what? One of the counselors hired you as like a mercenary, or are you like an investigator? Like you're a detective?
He says, I wasn't aware that I had to answer to you on this. I was told I would be given free reign to come investigate. Now, is that not true?
He says, well, who told you that? Because...
a council member.
You see, he pulls out a badge as well, and he says, well, I'm acting captain of the guard. So this is my city. This is my crime scene. I don't know who told you what.
All right.
But you
we gonna do
to
dick
me.
measuring here, or are you gonna have me help you?
He says, well, so far you've not been helpful at all. I don't even know your fucking name. So frankly, no.
He says, hang on. I have to think of a fun fake name to
You
give.
see Ambrose steps in and he says, like, Killian, calm down. Listen, we've all had a hard day, all right? Let the nice man investigate the orphanage. He's got a badge. Look, I can inspect it, make sure it's real. How about that? May I see that for a moment? I promise I'll give it
Says,
back.
yeah, sure, go ahead. And he hands the badge to him, and he looks back at Killian and says, see, I like the way your boyfriend talks. You should listen to him.
Yeah, you see. Give me an insight check.
Oh, that's a nat 20. I like couldn't read it at first because it's like a solid like block 0. I was
Hell
like, what
yeah.
number is that? That's a 0.
Ooh.
That's a nat 20 plus, you said insight 24.
Oh my god. All right. So a lot of little things happen that you probably would have missed, but you're like really keen on these people all of a sudden. You say your boyfriend. You see Ambrose smiles and like you see like glee and like just kind of like you don't think that it's like, yes, you think it's like he likes making fun and like teasing Killian. And so like he thinks that that's really funny what you've just said. And you see Killian gets like a vein like in his head and like kind of like grinds his teeth a little bit, and like you see his eye starts to twitch and he like has to press a finger into it for it to stop twitching. And you also see the man leaning up against the orphanage. When you say that, he doesn't look up, but you glance to him at just the right time and you see just like the ghost of like a little smirk as he like perhaps thinks what you've said is funny. And yeah, so you catch all of that. And you see
Okay.
you see
So he seems entertained by it, or he seemed like bothered by it. Okay.
he seemed like a little bit entertained.
Okay.
And you see
I'm calling it right now. That's Ambrose's actual boyfriend.
you see Ambrose leans forward and Killian and Ambrose at the same time. Ambrose says, yes! And Killian says, no! And Ambrose goes, you hate me. And Killian says, yes.
Oh my god! This man, Seth has created the bottom of all time.
Killian says, yes, I do hate you, and I don't know how many times I have to tell you that. And Ambrose says, don't listen to him, he's grumpy. Anyways, and you see he takes the badge that you've offered him, and you see he sort of looks it over, and you see he actually sort of like closes his eyes and like murmurs something under his breath. And after a minute, he opens his eyes again and he says, it's real, and he hands it back to you. And Killian goes, whatever, fine. You want to investigate? Be my guest. Go right ahead. Maybe you'll find something that all of us have fucking missed. Forgot. And Amber says, oh, hush, you're being so mean to our guest. And then he leans in and says, I didn't catch your name, dear. I'm being so rude. Ambrose. The pleasure is yours. And you see he like holds a hand out to you.
Before we go any further, I wanna pull the chat. I wanna like have chat help me figure out a funny fake name. I'm thinking like something along the lines of like, it sounds like Alestain, but it's like a different drink and like a different way to say stain, like spot or something.
Beer splash.
rum spot or something.
Cum stain.
Or like rum.
I mean,
no, not cum stain. I am not going to take on the fake name cum stain.
What do you mean?
I think rum spot is probably fine, right?
Rum spot.
Rum spot. What,
I mean, I guess
yeah, what do you
it's
think,
not
chat?
as out. I mean, I guess it's the same amount of outlandish as Alestain, but I think I've just said Alestain so much to myself that Alestain just sounds like a regular name to me now, whereas like anything else just sounds wrong.
Ooh, rum drop is good.
Rum drop.
Rum drop.
Oil spot.
I don't know. It's either rum drop or rum spot in my head. Probably rum drop.
Rum drop.
I think to further get Killian's goat, you said Ambrose held out his hand.
Yeah, he's like holding out, and he said, "The pleasure is all yours."
Oh, okay. He takes his hand and thinks. Does he know like if there's a rank above captain for like would it be like commander
It'd
or
be
something?
commander, yeah. Or general, general or commander.
He takes his hand and says, yeah, pleasure's all mine. Name's Commander Rumdrop.
You see Killian goes, "What?" And Ambrose goes, "What an interesting name. Can I call you Rummy for short?"
No, we're not at that place in our
Oh.
friendship just yet.
You're no fun. You see Ambrose is like, kind of just like, "Oh, interesting." And Killian says, "What the fuck did you, all right, okay. All right, and I'm fucking Queen Lady Tits. All right, fine. Is this what we're doing now? Awesome. Whatever, whatever."
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Queen Lady Tits.
You see,
Didn't know I was in the presence of royalty.
he just says like, you see, he kind of is like takes a deep breath, and he's like, "All right, fine. Look, obviously you've been contracted by someone for this, so fine. It doesn't matter. Investigate, do whatever you want. Here." You see he has like a little bag. He pulls out like a report, and he hands it to you, and he says, "This is everything we have. Do with that whatever you want." You see he sort of looks up, and he says, "The sun's going down, so you can come back in the morning to investigate, or fuck, why don't you investigate all night? You know what, just do whatever you want. I have other things to be doing. I don't have time for this." And you see he turns to Ambrose, and he goes, "This is your problem now. I'm leaving this." You see he sort of generals in your general direction, or he gestures in your general direction, and he goes, "This is your problem now." And Ambrose goes, "Yay." And he goes,
God, he's
"I
he's
love
so
that it's my
aggressively
problem
gay
now."
for Alestain.
He
He says what?
He just goes, "I love that it's my problem now." And Killian goes, "All right, whatever. I'll be at the stockades if you need something. Don't need something." And you see he turns, and like,
So he just leaves me with the report?
oh yeah, he handed you the report. He said like, "This is everything we have. Don't need me for anything." And you
Oh.
see as he
I
turns.
assumed he would take it back.
Oh no, he like handed it to you and was like, "Oh, you're
Oh,
investigating now? Like here, this is for you." And Ambrose says,
as he leaves, I think Alestain calls out to him as he's like walking away. He's like, "Yeah, get a good night's rest. Don't worry, the professionals will take it from here."
he doesn't turn around. As he turns and kind of walks in the opposite direction, you see the man against the building, kind of as he passes by, he says, "Good night, Captain." And you see Killian flips him off as he walks away. And yeah, so you are left with Amber. Amber says, "Don't worry, I'll give you the lay of the land. Why don't you read that little report, and then we can take a trip inside? You've been here before."
He says, "Yeah, don't worry about him. You know, believe it or not, this is actually the best treatment I've ever gotten from a city official." And he says that as he's looking over at Killian.
Okay. You see Ambrose, he says, "Oh, don't worry. He's like that with everyone, so it's not personal. He's just grumpy." And then you see he kind of glances over to the man on the wall, and he says, "Everyone around here is grumpy, but you seem like fun. We're going to be fast friends. I know it."
And he says, "Well, I'll be the judge of that. Who's your friend, by the way?"
He says, "Oh, him. Oh, don't worry about him. He's just my little shadow for the day. Kaz, say hello. Lovely." And you see
Pause?
Kaz, Kaz.
Oh, okay.
And you see the man on the wall. He kind of like looks up briefly. Doesn't say anything, but kind of like dips his head very slightly in acknowledgement, and then goes back to like just eyes closed, head down. And he says he doesn't talk much, but that's all right. I do enough talking for the both of us.
Is Ambrose a human, by the way?
As far as you can tell.
Okay. I think mainly because you mentioned Hope was a tiefling, but I think everyone else were humans or human adjacent, right?
Yeah, well, the Niobe had she had like gray blue skin and white hair and tattoos and like kind of pointed ears.
Okay, so maybe some kind of Genasi or Drow or something?
Yeah, you're not entirely certain, but she didn't look human. Killian looked human, Ambrose looks human, and Kaz looks human. As far as you can tell. It's not always, as easy as just looking at someone, but as far as you can tell.
I guess I skim the report while I make my way into the building.
Right. So the report basically is a report of the incident, all of the missing children. You recognize the information about Boot and Haggis. It also mentions Peaches, Iris, and Daisy. And the sort of blurb about the incident is a lot of legal jargon, but is all the information that currently know, as well as everything that Dandelion and Old Cyrus have already told you. So at this point,
they vanished while Feather was out on a job. It was like during the late afternoon, right? Something like that.
It was like nighttime. She got back after curfew and wasn't allowed in.
Gotcha.
And
So
she
she
came back
was
in the
out
morning.
around afternoon, but came back by morning.
Yes.
Okay. So something happened that night.
Yeah,
okay.
they believe it happened at night after
was-
the orphanage was closed.
There was like conjuration and enchantment shit happening there.
The curfew for the orphanage is 7 p.m. So they believe that it happened between the hours of like 7 p.m. and like 6 a.m.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of all the information that it has. Ambrose says, "I've tried my best. I've done everything in my expertise to look around, but I don't know, perhaps someone of your caliber might have a different perspective. Do you investigate lots of places, Remy?"
I told you not to call me that.
But it's so cute.
He says that while he's kind of looking over the hall, I guess. I don't know where we are in the building just yet.
So you want to go inside? Sorry,
yeah, to see it while I was walking in.
All right, let me. So the fog of war on this map is interesting because of the way the walls are. So I'm gonna try my best to like reveal areas as you get to them, but it might
Mhm.
be a little bit weird. So I'm just gonna try my best.
That's fine.
So you
I'm aware of how frustrating Roll20 can be.
right. So you
For those of you who haven't used Roll20 before, just know that it's frustrating.
It is frustrating. It can be. So the two of you walk inside. He lets you go first. So I'll see that. So the two of you walk in. Reveal areas. All right. Let's do this. So you walk in, and immediately you see the hallway. You see there's this sort of like, sort of the front desk, like reception area here. You see the stairs that lead upstairs. And then you see there are hallways on either end that are familiar to you. And
So,
there's
I
doors
think-
here as well. Hold on, I have something to read as well.
Okay.
As you enter this place. Sorry. Hang on.
You're fine.
Okay, yeah. So you walk into this place. And it's interesting because the orphanage looks the same on the outside, except you notice that there have been some minor repairs done to the porch. However, when you enter, you immediately notice a change. You grew up in this place. This was your home. And you remember it exactly as it was when you left. So when you return and it's different, it is immediately noticeable to you. The smell of wood rot and must is replaced with a scent of like cinnamon, and you see it's coming from decorations that have been hung, and you recognize them as celebratory decorations that people hang for a holiday called the Festival of the Sun. And you realize that was a few weeks ago. It would have been. And as you kind of walk into the hallway, you see the holes in the walls and the gaps in the floors have been fixed and polished. And you see a new coat of paint and wallpaper that bring like color to this previously lifeless space. The old and broken furniture is patched up or replaced altogether. And it might surprise you to stand in this place that was once your only home, only to look around and realize you don't recognize it. This used to be a rotted hole where orphans came to die, and now it's strangely warm, but also empty. And as you investigate this place, despite the changes that were made, this place is still known to you. You know what others don't. You lived here. You know every nook and cranny and hiding place where orphans stashed precious items to keep them hidden, keep them safe. So any investigation check you make in this place, you will get advantage.
Nice. I was actually just about to say, if there are like, I don't know, any like hidey holes that he would know to check. I think he also, like, as he's making his way through, checks those as well to see if like they had any rations squirreled away, because I think they maybe would have had like, I don't know, somewhere to like store like rope and stuff for when they were doing their little scams to get onto like the rooftops and stuff. So like maybe checking to see if they took supplies, suggesting that maybe they left intentionally, or just checking what he can
Yeah.
when it comes to that.
So you know that there's a sort of storage. There's a couple places that you immediately think to check. You know that there's a sort of storage room on the first floor. It's sort of like there's a pantry separate from the kitchen, and there's also a big room that has a lot of cupboards that line the walls that is used as like storage and things like that. And then you know that upstairs is where the bedrooms are, and that's also where the head matron's bedroom is. And her office is sort of in that room. And you know that when orphans brought things that they weren't supposed to have or that were confiscated from them, she would put them in her office somewhere. So, and also on top of that, you and Amber specifically had a secret hiding place. In one of the aisles in one of the dormitories upstairs, there was a loose floorboard that you could pry up, and you would store things that the two of you wanted to keep secret, keep safe. So those are all the immediate things that you think of.
So the storage room, the matron's room, their hiding place.
Mhm.
Was there a fourth one?
Just
Just those three?
I
Okay.
think it was just those three.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like taking notes as you talk.
No, that's okay.
I think he also doesn't make it, like, he doesn't rush to those places. I think he kind of like goes through systematically one at a time, like checking the rooms. He doesn't want to like indicate to Ambrose here. He just doesn't know like what the vibe of Ambrose is, like if he can trust him or not. So I think he's like doesn't want to indicate too strongly that he knows exactly what he's looking for. So he kind of makes his way through one room at a time, just looking him over.
Okay. So you know this place. So you know what all the rooms are. You'll just have to enter them to, be able to see into them.
I can't tell what is a room here and what isn't.
I know. It's it's really difficult. So you see immediately as you walk in to your right, I guess on the left in the map, is the sort of like reception area, where one of the sisters would greet people, and you see there's like a logbook of like visitors who have come to meet orphans. And you know that to the other side of you is a bathroom. And you know that
so can I go in there first and check then?
in the bathroom?
No. The reception area.
Oh yeah, it's just
I'm just wanting to go through these one at a time and look them over.
Of course. Yeah. For the sake of time, I'll say like roll a general perception check, and then if there's anything you would like to investigate more thoroughly, I'll have you roll investigation checks like separately. But like just for like general looking around, I'll just roll me a perception check with advantage. Or yeah, perception and investigation you can roll advantage.
That was oh, that's even worse. 14 for perception.
Okay. And what are you looking for in this space?
First, so because he knows magic is involved, I think he's immediately like concerned that like some kind of magic entity may have entered at some point. So first thought is like, are there any signs of like, I don't know, children whisked away? Kind of screams fae to me. Like he looks for like signs of like a fae having been here or something, or just any kind of like otherworldly entity.
So you're wanting to roll with your blood hunter senses? For fae, fiend, or undead?
I guess. I just mean like any kind of magical entity. Like he's just looking for like any signs that like something magical may have like entered or something, any kind of like,
so
I don't know.
As you start
like, are there like scrapes on the floor that could indicate like a like a hoofed or like taloned creature of some kind, you know, like a large one or something, or
So you're sort of investigating this like little first couple of rooms, I'll say. You look through the reception area. You don't see anything particularly of interest there. Although if you flip through the visitors logs, the past few months, you repeatedly see the names Niobe and Hope as visitors. And you see that specifically they were visiting Iris and Daisy.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. Okay.
And you see actually, the last log was about 9 days ago, and it says like, transactions complete, pick up tomorrow, indicating
that they were gonna adopt them tomorrow.
Yes, the day that they disappeared.
We got our prime suspect. No, I'm kidding.
And you see, as you are sort of looking around,
It was the lesbians, Your Honor. They took the children.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, continue.
so I'll reveal this sort of area as so that you can see as you've sort of like looked around these first couple of rooms, I'll say. So yeah, you know that this first room was a bathroom, and you know that this first little area is like kind of like a coat closet, and
I
yeah.
assume that's not the storage room.
That's further down the hall.
Okay.
You know that, so you check these rooms, you don't find much else of interest. You see Ambrose is eager to kind of just elicit any kind of anything from you. And you see he says, I've investigated this place very thoroughly, and I've done some magical investigating as well. I don't know who contracted you, but they must have told you about me. I'm the historian advisor, and I do know a bit of magic, so I did a sweep of the place, and as you'll see in the report, I was able to find some conjuration, some enchantment. So if you have any questions about anything magical in nature, I'll be happy to answer them.
After he says, I'm sure they mentioned me, he says, maybe they. What did you say your name was? Aubergine or something? They might have mentioned you.
I like you. You're funny.
Says what was funny?
You see he kind of saunters like further in, and he says, I did the traces around here, and I found, well, it was quite interesting. You see he kind of points down the hall to the what is the laundry room. And you see he says, I found a bit of enchantment magic lingering over there. However, the rest of it all was upstairs, if that's of any help to you.
Said laundry room had the conjuration and enchantment.
The laundry room, he said he found traces of enchantment, but that the rest of the enchantment and the conjuration were found upstairs.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
And I will say as well, as you make your way through this place, a lot of those memories of growing up here start to come back to you. This place is currently empty, but your mind sort of starts to fill in the blanks of what used to be. You see kids running through the hallways, playing games on the stairs. You turn and look, and you see the door down the hall to the classroom where the head matron would teach. And you remember you and Amber looking out the windows at the people on the streets below, secretly wishing someone would come in and want to adopt you. And those are sort of that's sort of the emotion this place evokes.
I think he does everything he can to like not show that he's like feeling things coming through here. He kind of blinks and shakes his head a little, and says, "Okay, yeah, I think it said something about that in the report. Your magic detection. I'm still gonna have a once over myself if you don't mind."
Of course. Oh, actually, I have better music to be playing. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Just investigating music. Anyway. Yeah, you see Amber says, of course, if there's anything else that you need, I'm happy to be a help.
Is the storage like off to his right hand side or off to his left hand side?
On the map it's down to the left, so his right.
I think he starts with the rooms to the upper left and makes his way through them one at a time toward the bottom left
Of the map? Okay. So, you make your way that way. Okay, perfect. So you make your way through. You see that the the first area here is some of these sisters' bed chambers. It's a couple of beds and a little desk, a small fireplace for the winter. Nothing extravagant. And the sisters don't keep much. They don't keep many like trinkets or like earthly possessions. So kind of a barren room. You don't find much in there. Ambrose indicates to the laundry room next door, though. And he says, that's where I found some traces of enchantment magic.
When Alestain was growing up in the orphanage, did the sisters tend to leave the door to their quarters locked? When they weren't in there?
I would say to that chamber and to the head matron's chamber, those doors were likely always locked. And the kitchen and the like pantry where they stored food, I would say those were locked as well. Just anywhere they don't want little orphan hands, you know?
After he gets the door open, I think he immediately turns to Ambrose and says, "Was this locked when the investigation started?"
You see he kind of tilts his head to think, and he says, I'm not sure, but as we investigate, we had them open anything that was closed, so if it was locked, I'm not sure.
Can I check the door for signs of lockpicking?
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Uh, 15 plus 2, 17.
This door does not appear to be tampered with in any way. The lock, the handle, the hinges, it's all normal.
Okay. I wanted to check that mainly because I wanted to I assume all the locks are the same. I kind of wanted maybe use that for advantage when checking other locks because, like...
You would know the difference.
The difference between what the locks look like when they're tampered with or not?
Yeah. I will allow it.
Okay. So nothing out of the ordinary here then?
So he indicates to the laundry room and you open the door. The laundry room looks as it ever did. You are a little familiar with this room. The head matron made all of you do chores. So when it was your turn to do laundry, you spent a lot of time in here. But nothing looks particularly out of the ordinary. You see there is some laundry that is still soaking in here. So you think that when everyone arrived, like they were sort of like, no one touch anything, everyone leave. So there is laundry that has been soaking in here for about 8 days. There is some laundry that has been folded and dried. You do know
no signs of anything that was ditched in one of the water basins or something?
You don't find anything in the water basins, although something that you notice is a little bit out of the ordinary is there's like a couple towels that aren't folded, like next to ones that are. So what did you get on? Did you roll investigation for the? I can't remember.
For this room, no.
Okay, roll investigation.
Okay. Do I get advantage or?
Yeah, for this entire section of the.
Oh, I guess I didn't need to do that lock thing to try and get advantage then, huh?
I won't.
Oh, it's a dirty 20.
I won't make you roll to investigate locks because you got that high roll.
Okay.
But dirty 20, okay. So yeah, you can glean from this sort of information. It's weird to interpret at first because it could mean a lot of stuff, but you think it seems like someone was in here folding laundry and then they were interrupted and never came back to it.
Does he remember when the sisters would typically fold the laundry? Did they have like a scheduled time for that?
It was kind of whenever they had a chance. They did try to keep a schedule to try to keep like some like order and like discipline. But it tended to be done when the children were asleep.
When the children were asleep, when?
Like the laundry would be done if the sisters.
No. I'm saying like when was bedtime? I guess when did they tell the kids they had to sleep?
Curfew is 7, so bedtime is probably like 8.
Okay. So they were interrupted at 8 at the earliest.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's if the sisters were doing it, because they would have you guys do it sometimes, and that would be like sort of whenever.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all you find out of the ordinary in this room. What is the next room you would like to go into?
One thing, by the way, before we continue,
Mm-hmm.
do they lock the doors to the front of the orphanage at night?
Yes. So the curfew that Dandelion was talking about is the reason Feather couldn't get back in. Is at 7 they lock the doors, and any orphans not inside, they're kind of like, you were supposed to be back by curfew, so you get to sleep on the street.
So did he see any signs of forced entry on the front door?
Not on the... No. We'll say with that roll that you did to investigate the locks, I'll say no.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Then continue down the line, I guess.
Okay. This next room at the end of the hall is a room that you're pretty familiar with. It's the kitchen. You and Amber, well, Amber mostly was conscripted to the kitchen to help the sisters prepare dinner, as she was the oldest. So you walk in there. It's it's a pretty basic kitchen. You see, the kitchen is clean. It seems like they had their meal and then the dishes were done accordingly and put away. So there doesn't seem like anything was like stopped like halfway in here versus like the laundry room. It seems like the meal was done and cleaned up.
Was there a scheduled time for that, for cleaning up?
So, the sisters were kind of constantly keeping things clean and keeping things like going. And so like they would eat, and then all of the children would bring their stuff to the kitchen, and like whoever was on kitchen duty that day would help clean, and then it was bedtime.
Okay.
Like showers and then bed.
Was there was there a specific time on the schedule for that?
Probably a little after curfew. So dinner was probably like 7:30. Okay. And cleanup was like 8. 8:30.
Okay. So nothing to narrow down the time here. Okay. There aren't any like stashes or anything they had in the kitchen, were there?
Do you think you would have stashed food in the kitchen?
I don't know. Like, this is my first time personally seeing this setup, so I'm not sure what the best way for them to steal would be. So, Probably not the kitchen though.
Yeah,
but-
it's kind of just like up to your imagination, honestly. It's not like anything super crazy. Let's see. All right, the next room down from there is the storage room.
And this was the one where you said they would usually had like a stash where they would hide stuff in here.
Yeah, so this big room, let me show it better. It's got cabinets all along the walls. You know that next door is the pantry. And you know that there are this is where they keep a lot of like just extra things. There's like a lot of extra like towels and like some dry food stores, but mostly like extra like dishes and things like that. So it's pretty easy to kind of commandeer maybe like a corner cabinet, put like a like kind of pry off the back of it and like hide stuff in there.
Gotcha. Okay. Can he check that cabinet?
Yeah, roll me investigation.
And you said with advantage, right?
Yeah. Ambrose is sort of
That's a
like
little higher.
silently, not quite silently, following you around as you're investigating. You see he's kind of like letting you look, but he's talking a lot. He is like, I might not be saying a lot, but he is kind of like every time you like look at something, he gets involved and is like, oh, what's that? Like, have you found something? Oh, and then he'll kind of like say whatever he like deduced when he looked in here.
I think he has increasingly like sarcastic and clearly not paying attention. Oh, yeah.
You get the vibe that like he knows you're not really listening, but he is talking anyway.
He likes to hear his own voice.
He likes to hear himself talk.
I rolled a 16 plus 2, I think, is investigation plus 2.
So an 18 or a 16?
18.
Okay.
Yep.
You take a peek through some cabinets. You find some extra rations in here if you want to take those with you. It's just a lot of like little like sacks of food kind of squirreled away. But nothing.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna steal from the orphanage, but like, I think he takes from that like if this was like them leaving with intention, they wouldn't leave that behind.
Yeah, you don't find anything like out of place. It doesn't look like anything was prepared and taken. Is what you gather from this room.
Okay.
Do you move on?
Yep.
The next room. Oh, sorry, my computer's being a little bit slow. The next room is the pantry. And you know that just has dry food stores, extra like beverages, sort of things like that. You take a quick peek in there. You don't find anything of interest particularly.
Okay.
And the next room after that is the showers.
There's a naked man in there. No.
Yeah. No. This place.
It's Ambrose. He got naked at the first chance he could around
Yeah.
Alestain.
Ambrose looks in the showers and he goes, "Oh." He goes, "Oh, do you mind?" No. You see, he's also like re-investigating, if that makes sense. Like he's talking, but he's also like looking around as well. He's not just like following you, if that makes sense. So yeah, the two of you, I mean, again, it's a bathroom. You don't find anything particularly of note in here. But you remember that this is where you were forced to bathe with a bunch of other children. All right. Where do you go from here? You have the other end of the hall.
I'm just gonna continue down the line, each room one after the other.
Okay. Then
Again, checking the locks and stuff to make sure there was no like forced entry anyway, but I assume there's not.
Yeah, I'll let you know if you find something like that. You don't.
Just reminding you.
Yeah, thank you. The next room you walk into is the library. You see that there are. This is like a library, and this is where a lot of kids would come to like study and also just like to hang out. There are a lot of books on tables. There's some lanterns and candles around. You see there's a lot of like stuff that was written and then like left for another night. But nothing particularly looks like it was like rushed, or yeah, there's not like a mess any more than usual.
Okay, so no one was studying when shit went down.
The next room is one of the bigger rooms. It is the dining hall. You see, let me move you. Nope, that's not what I wanted. This is where, all of you would come to eat. There's a big fireplace, and there's a sort of a raised platform with a table that looks out over all of the rest of the tables, and that's where the head matron and the sisters would sit. You would all eat together where they could keep an eye on you. Let me...
Very fascistic, very police state. Love it.
A little bit bigger. Yeah, super great. Really awesome. Again, you don't find anything of note in here. All of the tableware has been set. Everything has been put away and like placed out for the next meal. So it seems like whatever happened here didn't happen during like a meal. The next.
And when was, you said mealtime was 7:30?
Yeah, about.
Okay.
And the next couple rooms you enter are the classroom, and the playroom. You see that,
Very funny that the playroom is the smallest room in the entire place.
it's pretty small. It's, yeah, there's sort
about
of,
the size of the washroom.
yeah, about a tiny bit bigger.
Yeah.
You see that there's some like broken toys and stuff on the floor. It doesn't look like they particularly clean up this room, which is a little bit like, it seems like everywhere else there's a lot of order, and like things are put away, but it seems like the playroom is like, it's always gonna be a mess, and so they've sort of resigned to like not really cleaning up after the kids who play in here.
Just like the good old days.
You walk through the...
Alestain looks to see if his decapitated Barbies are still there.
Oh, awesome. Give me an investigation check. Ambrose looks around and says, this room...
17.
Ambrose looks around and says, this room is very small. This is the only room you had
actually-
to play in?
Oh, that was worse. I just remembered I get advantage. He says, me? What do you mean me?
Well, you said you knew this place. Outside.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. I see how it is. I'm on to you, friend. Yeah, your Barbies are there.
Hell yeah.
It seems like they have been, like, the heads have been, like, glued back on, but they've been ripped off so many times that they just, like, stopped trying.
Thank God. They stopped trying to change Louise and... why can't I think of a single man name?
Ken.
Louise and Charles.
Yeah.
His Barbies, Louise and Charles. They stopped trying to fix them.
Fantastic. Yeah. They're just like that now. But yeah, so you don't really find anything else of note on these floors. You find some, like, in some of the desks, you find, like, little hidden, like, notes that were, like, passed probably in between classes or, like, in class to each other, just, like, little things about, like, oh, the head matron, like, looks funny today, or, like, her hair is, like, whatever, you know, just, like, little kid stuff. But nothing of note, really. Everything is kind of kosher down here. Nothing's really going on.
All right. Well, there's only 2 stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if there's not a basement, we're going up.
Okay. You see Ambrose leads the way upstairs. And as the two of you are sort of heading up there, you see Kaz steps through the doorway. And just kind of like leans against a wall near the entrance and stands there instead of outside. And Ambrose says, "Mind the door, won't you?" And Kaz does not say anything. They continue upstairs.
Okay. A little bit of tension between these two.
It's
Trouble in paradise.
I mean, yeah, you can try to do something like an insight check about it if you would like, but it's
Sure.
Okay, give me an insight check.
I need to know if these guys are fucking.
Hmm.
Ooh, 14 plus 4. I forgot I'm so good at insight. Dude, that's like his skill is fucking clocking people. All right, 18.
It seems like Ambrose is very blasé about a lot of stuff, and Kaz seems like he just couldn't care less. So it's just kind of a like, Ambrose is just very like, oh, you know, mind the door, like, do your job, and Kaz is like, whatever, like, okay.
So they're not together.
I mean, nothing has given you that impression. Kaz laughed a little bit when it was implied that Killian and Ambrose were boyfriends, but besides that, you know.
Don't worry, chat. I'm gonna find out who all's dating in this world, so that you can update your shipping charts. Anyway.
So you walk upstairs and into the little upstairs sort of loft. You see a writing desk and a bookshelf off to the side. You know, to the north of you is just a little bathroom.
I'm supposed to be seeing something?
Scroll down. Go down to the bottom of the map.
Oh, tricky.
I'll undo all of this so that we can see what's going on down here. But yeah, so you know, up there is the bathroom. You know that to the left and right of you are the dormitories. And you know directly in front of you is the head matron's room.
Okay.
So where would you like to investigate first?
Left to right. Let's go counterclockwise.
Okay. So you head inside and you walk in the door, and you see these sort of split dormitory rooms. You know that this is actually your wing. This is the boys' wing, and you know the other side is the girls.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in here, and you know this is where your little stash, your little board was, that you and Amber would stash things in. And you see this place is it's pretty neat. It looks like, well, the beds are all strewn. Like, all of the beds look like children just got out of them. But
so they haven't made their beds yet. Or perhaps they were in their beds and had just gotten up.
You're not sure if this, you know, Amber says, we tried to maintain as much of the crime scene as possible. However, the children had to get up and leave. So the children, we believe, were sleeping during the incident, and in the morning all of them got up to leave. So all of the beds are sort of unkempt, but we believe it was when all of the children were sleeping that this took place.
So I do think he would know where Boot and Haggis's beds were. Mm-hmm. Can he check those to see if those are made?
Yeah, well, so every bed has been, like, it looks like they're, like, people got out of them.
Interesting. Okay, so even they got up.
Well, so you think that despite what happened in the morning when the police came, all of the children got up, and so they didn't make their beds.
Well, yes, but Boot and Haggis are missing.
Yes.
So if the guards showed up and like the kids had to get out of bed, but whatever this was happened, like, you know, like at some point. What I'm getting at is that if Boot and Haggis were also taken, they didn't obviously get up when that happened, so they got up sometime prior.
Right.
So they were all in bed, and Boot and Haggis got up for some reason.
Right.
They didn't like fail to return.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So you walk into this place, you see your old bed, you see their beds. And it's like, it's strange because you walk into this space and it's like, for a second, you see it how it used to be. You see broken beds and dirty, torn rugs and cracked windows that always failed to keep the cold out. And then you blink and you see a nice new rug. You see sturdy wooden beds, a repaired window. And
Sorry, Button's climbing all over my desk and trying to unplug things.
it's okay. He wants your attention. He also thinks it's dinner time.
Yeah, it's
But-
not.
Anyway, so you see what is there now, and you are free to continue investigating.
I think he's again trying to like hide that he's
Emotional.
having those moments. Is Feathers the only bed then that's made because she never came back?
Hers is in the other wing. Boys and girls were kept
Right,
separate.
right. 'Cause this is the boys' room.
So yeah, Amber
Gotcha.
and Feathers would
So-
be in the other room.
Gotcha. I thought
Well, I guess Amber.
the girls was on the south end here, but both the north and the south rooms here are the boys.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's check the girls' room next then.
But in this room is where your floorboard is, where you and Amber
Oh,
would store
right.
things. So you go.
Did anyone else know about that floorboard, or was it just him and Amber?
It was a you and Amber thing. You specifically like kept that little stash place for yourselves.
I think he like anxiously goes to check it.
You remember your old hiding place. And as you walk over, you see Ambrose is kind of like, "Oh, I'll go explore the other dormitory while you're in here, if that's all right. You can just meet me over there afterwards." And you see he goes to the other dormitory. So you walk in to this one. You walk over to the floorboard where you and Amber used to stash things. And as you step on it, you hear the familiar groan and know that it hasn't been replaced yet. Like, there are things in this place that have been repaired, been replaced, but this place is still yours for now. Some things never change. Do you open the floorboard?
I do.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god. The board's gonna attack me, dude. Dex save 13.
You do not succeed. You
Oh.
open this floorboard, and faster than lightning, something leaps out at you, and you are taken by surprise. You fall back, and on your chest is the fattest, roundest rat you have ever seen in your life.
I think all of Alestain's attempts at controlling his like demeanor and like getting under these people's skins and like, you know, trying to be mysterious, all that goes out the window and he screams, "Help
Harry! Holy shit, Harry!
You see Harry looks up at you, his little beady black eyes like taking you in, assessing you, and you notice he's like mid-bite, like he was about to totally fucking get you. But you see he kind of like sniffs, and you hear him make just this really loud squeak as he like scrambles up and like immediately goes inside your shirt.
He says, Harry, holy shit, how are you? How'd you been keeping on? I see you still not skipping meals, pal.
He's making just a lot of really like happy like squeaking and is like crawling around inside your shirt, and like he like occasionally is like poking out the bottom and then like scurrying back inside, and like he's trying to like find somewhere. He like crawls up through like the shirt, and you see he like gets inside your scarf a little bit and like is like just squeaking really happily the whole time. And you see he kind of like after a minute he kind of like burrows down on your scarf and just like sits there.
I fish out 5 cat treats and hand them to Harry.
Eats the fuck out of those cat treats. You've never seen a happier rat. This rat, probably the size of your hand. He is absolutely circular. You've never seen a more circular animal in your life. He is so happy to see you.
He pats his little head with a couple fingers.
You see that he is very excited to see you. And then you see he actually crawls back out of your scarf. He crawls down, and he kind of like he crawls back into the hole where you found him. And he kind of like
he follows him and he says, "What is it, buddy?"
You see that give me an investigation check.
Is this with advantage or regular?
Advantage.
Okay. All right. First one was better. 17.
Perfect. Amazing, actually. You see that you see a stash of food in here. Like Harry has been hoarding like scraps of food, like bits of cheeses, dried meats, like mushrooms, like lots of little like nuts. This is like his like hoard. Like he's made this place like his nest. And you see that he looks upset because it has been disturbed. There is something that's like resting on top of all of his stuff that he is like really he like is mad that he can't move it, essentially. It's some papers.
So those weren't there before. So someone other than Harry and Alestain and Amber have been in here?
Perhaps.
He checks the papers.
You reach inside and you pick up the papers. And regardless of how hard you have been trying to... Oh, by the way, Ambrose runs into the room. And is like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you yelling? That's the fastest rat I've ever seen in my life.
He says, "What are you talking about? Who's yelling?"
He goes, You were just, he goes, you were absolutely just screaming. Is that a rat? That thing's huge.
He comically like looks over his shoulder and then like looks back, and he like looks down at Harry and he says, "I don't know, Harry, did you hear something? I didn't hear no thing."
He goes, Harry? You've named him? Is that your pet? You're keeping him now? You keep rats? That's cute.
He gestures. He holds his hand out and gestures for Harry to jump up on his hand. He says, "What do you mean? He's been here the whole time. He's part of the investigation."
Harry does. It takes it. He can't quite jump. He makes it up there, but he is quite big. You think that it
He
took
has
a
to do
lot
that
of
thing that cats do, where they like jump up and grab and have to like pull themselves up.
You think it took a lot of power for him to jump out of this hole at you. He's like out of breath a little bit. He like climbs up in your hand, and Ambrose goes, "All right. Well, did you find something? Are you all right?
Says,
You're okay?
no, that's nothing happened.
Okay."
I don't know. Like, are you okay? I mean, you might want to get like your ears
He
checked or
goes,
something.
"Listen,
Like, I didn't.
I love to be lied to by men, but this is an investigation. So if you could be a little more honest with me, I would appreciate it."
Whoa, where are these accusations coming from, pal? I thought we was working together.
You see he winks at you and walks out of the room.
He's gonna piss this man off if it's the last thing he does.
You think that that's gonna be quite hard to do. This man is very nonplussed. Anyway, after that, you look at the papers in your hand, and despite your best attempts, as you've been doing, to disguise the fact that you are like having memories of this place, looking at the paper in your hand, a memory comes back to you unbidden. And it's one of those memories that's like, you're like surprised that you remember it because it was so like unimportant. It happened so long ago, but it's like when you smell something and you can't help but remember, you know, whatever you've associated with that. It's a flyer for a carnival. And you remember 8, 9 years ago, you and Amber were in the marketplace. You were in the Emerald Exchange, and there were flyers after flyers after flyers that a carnival would be in town. The Revelia, world-renowned, world-traveling, lots of promises of magic and fantastical creatures and shows that you would not want to miss. And Amber was always very logical, but she was enraptured. You remember being like a little surprised that she cared about it, but you remember that she wanted nothing more than to go to this carnival. She was so excited. And it absolutely broke your heart when they forbid her to go. And she missed her opportunity. They were only in town that one time. You never really thought about them again, so you're not sure what happened. You know that they sort of travel all around, but they never came back to Rion as far as you know. And you just have the memory of like Amber telling you in the marketplace, like showing you a flyer and being like so excited, and like her excitement was like almost contagious. You'd never seen her so happy. And then the devastation on her face and the tears when the head matron took the flyer from her and forbid her to go. As you look down,
and then Alestain poured used cooking grease into that matron's boots later that day.
Okay, great. And I'm sure the repercussions of that were really normal and cool. But those memories come back to you as you look down and see the same flyer in your hand, and you see it. Well, actually, would you like to read the flyer, or shall I read it to you?
Sure. Before I read it though, does the paper look aged, like 9 years, or does it look like it's like a fresh flyer from like last week?
It looks brand new. You have not seen these
Okay.
flyers since then, but this paper
Okay.
is like fresh.
Okay. So it wasn't something we brought back.
Mm.
It was something someone recently left here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you'd like to read it, you said?
Sure.
All right. Let me send this.
Alestain is stinky. What? Why does the flyer say that?
Oh yeah, that's definitely what it says.
Whoa, Button. He's
What?
getting mad at me for holding him in my lap.
Oh, he doesn't want to be
He's
there.
upset that I'm not. Yeah, he's upset that I'm sitting at my computer.
Oh. This is what
Sorry, buddy.
I sent you what the flyer says on Discord.
Uh,
If you want to read it in your best carnival voice, make it fun.
I could read it in Bedlam's voice if you want.
Okay. Not Bedlam,
Or I
but
could-
Bedlam adjacent.
I could read it in a goofy clown voice.
Okay. Whatever you want to do.
Hello, clown voice.
I think everyone would like it if you did Bedlam.
What? You don't want the silly clown voice, guys?
No, I don't want that.
Heckna presents his grandest work. Oh, Heckna, that's the guy. He's always been trying to upstage me. The Revelia! You are merrily invited to a never-ending night of fun, frights, and all things fantastical. Visit the Big Top and be delighted by the amazing acrobatics of
Arachne.
Arachne and his coven! Compete to win priceless prizes at the Midway. Sounds mid. Visit our creative creatures at the petting zoo. Those favored by the glorious Heckna himself may even be invited to his life-changing fun house. No money, no problem. Heckna's generosity is free. With free red tickets upon entry, will keep you sweet. That's a strange thing.
It's written a little strange, but yes, that is what it says.
What a weirdo, am I right, chat? Feast at the food court, hit the hay at the hostel, and make your fortune at the Flophouse Casino. We boast the latest in merry marionette technology and are constantly developing new attractions. So you'll never be left wanting. Delve into delights knowing the all-seeing eye of Heckna is watching over you, providing for your every whim and need.
Put some stank
Heckna's
on that.
mission is simple. Keep 'em laughing. You'll be chuckling, giggling, and guffawing before you know it. At the bottom of the page, in the tiniest, most barely legible script, it says, Heckna cannot be held responsible for any of the following: damage, either physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, financial distress of any kind, maiming, total
Exsanguination.
exsanguination, burns, food poisoning, excessive gas, or loss of property, limb, liberty, or life. Complaints submitted to Heckna will be dealt with promptly. What a snooze fest!
All
Who would ever
right.
want to attend this?
Tone the Bedlam down. This ain't your campaign. But yes, that is what the flyer says. So this is a fresh printed paper. That is what the flyer says. And you notice, as you kind of like switch it between your hands, the hand that you had it in before is red. It has red.
What?
It has your hand. You like moved your like from one hand, and now your other hand has like red, sticky something on it.
Like the ink was coming off the page.
Like there's something on the back of this paper that's red and sticky.
He flips it and looks at the back.
Written on the back in a shaky, sprawling hand is the word help, written in red letters. Along with the letter,
Is it written in blood?
it's sticky, It's dark and it's red.
Okay.
Along with the flyer, you find a golden ticket with the face of a clown on it. And it says, "Come join the marvels of the Revelia. Ticket admits 1. Give me an investigation check with advantage."
Okay. Fuck, where did my die go? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Is that investigation with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a little better. Dirty 20.
You pick up this letter, and as you see the red on your hand, your entire body, the hair raises up, you get goosebumps, and you smell, for just a second, you smell rot and decay. And your training, those years at Bloodhold, at Dragonhold, undeath. You smell, you feel undeath from these papers.
Like an undead may have interacted with them or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so... Okay, so something undead interacted with the flyer that has help written on the back in blood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as you take this stuff out of the hole, you see Harry's really happy. He goes back in. He starts like eating. He starts like shoving food into his mouth. And then once he like can't put any more in there, he like crawls back up your sleeve and into your scarf, and kind of like disappears somewhere in there.
He like does the gerbil thing and just jams a bunch of food in his mouth and like in his cheeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he disappears into your like cloak, but he's with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that is all you find in the hole.
I think upon finding this, Alestain's feeling a bit less whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else in the hole?
No, that is all.
He covers it back up with the board.
Okay.
And he looks in the girls' dorm.
Okay.
He kind of opens the door like with purpose.
Okay. Ambrose hears you exit and kind of comes to meet you in the hall. And he says, "I didn't find anything of note in there, but you're welcome to take a look, of course. Did you find anything of use in there?"
He actually doesn't even look at Ambrose. He just continues into the room.
Oh. You see Ambrose goes, "Oh, rude. Men are so mean to me today. Do I smell weird?" All right. And you see he kind of
like he not even in like a he's actively trying to be mean
like
or anything.
rude.
He's just straight up not even like he doesn't register to
Yeah.
Alestain right now.
He's like, "I'm on a mission. Like something's wrong with something happened to my friends." Yeah, no worries. Ambrose doesn't know you well enough to know that, but he's like, whatever. Give me an investigation check for the girls' room.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 12. That was my best roll.
It's okay. You walk around, very similar to the boys' room. All of the beds are unmade. I know they're made in the map, but shut up. You see, although Feather's bed is made, hers is the only one. And you said a 12. You find like a couple. You find in the desk, in one of the desks, is like a little pouch of like rations and like a little stash of like a couple gold coins.
Oh. So It was stashed where?
Just like in one of the sort of like underneath one of the drawers, like someone, like an orphan was trying to keep it like secret.
Okay, but just someone he doesn't know.
Yeah,
Not.
just one of the beds.
What is it? One of the missing kids? Are like the beds labeled at all?
You know what? The beds are labeled. And it's a dresser that is in between two beds that say Iris and Daisy.
Interesting. Okay. So Iris and Daisy stashed some gold and what else?
Just some food.
Okay. Okay. He leaves it there.
Okay. But that is all you find in this room of interest. The last room is the head matron's office.
All right. Proceeds to there, I guess.
You see Ambrose is sort of like waiting and like opens the door for you. And he says, We've spoken to the head matron already. It appears I believe she's had some magical interference with her memory. However, if you would still like to speak with her, she is being held at the stockades. Likely you'll have to wait till the morning to speak with her, though. We've searched the room, read the ledgers, but nothing of interest to us, so please let me know if you find something.
He hasn't stopped.
Okay.
He doesn't even stop to listen. He continues into the matron's office.
Ambrose stands outside the room, and like watches you, like he stands like outside the room and just like watches you, kind of like just trying to like he's felt your vibe and is trying to stay out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an investigation check. You see,
Yicky.
this room is torn over.
With advantage?
Mhm.
Okay.
This room. Well, yeah. Let me hear your roll.
16.
Okay. This room is torn apart. The bed sheets are ripped off the bed. Books are spilled over the floors. You see her desk has been rifled through. And like one of the drawers is like broken. It looks like there was a false bottom and somebody broke into that. And it's empty. So if there was something inside it, it's gone.
Okay.
And you see there is a safe in the corner of the room. And that appears to be the only thing that has not been opened.
Okay. I see there's like a second bed in here. What's that about?
Yeah, that's sort of just like, so the head matron, and then that's for any visiting sisters, because there was a lot of sisters that would like come and go, so it's kind of just like an extra bed, for any extra help they had.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing else of interest in here other than that safe?
Yeah.
I know that you said there was somewhere, the spot that she would hide the things from the kids.
Yeah,
it was probably that false bottom drawer.
It's the safe.
Yep. Oh, it's the safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know about it, but you've never been able to get into it.
Gotcha. And so, she was hiding something from everyone in that drawer. Okay. Does it look like it was like, I don't know. Does it look like damaged as it was removed, or like, can I investigate to see if like it seems like the person who opened this false bottom knew what they were doing, or is it like kind of like scratched up and broken or something?
With that investigation check, it seems like whoever did this was sort of just you're not sure if they were looking for something specific or if they were just looking for like anything that they could find. It seems like they didn't know how to get into this. It seems like it was opened and they maybe discovered it and couldn't figure out how it opened, and so they broke it.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Is the safe locked?
It is locked. Give me...
Can he think of any, like, important dates to the matron that he could try? Like her birthday, or like
You know what? Yeah.
the day the
Try,
orphanage
I think you
was
can,
opened, or
you know what? You find her with a 17. You find her diary, in the like dresser next to the bed, and in one of the pages is she keeps like a log of all the codes for things that she uses, and you like try a few of them until you get the safe open.
Oh, okay.
Chat.
Oh.
It's late, and I didn't know if we were gonna get to it today, but we have our first poll, and maybe the only poll of this episode, so sorry about that.
Perfect timing too. You get that out, and then we're gonna do a quick 3-minute ad break.
Perfect. Let me pull that together. So Alestain, in this safe, you find confiscated items that you know that just anything the matron decided the children could not have, she took and would put in here. And you also find a ledger in there it's like a log of everything that has been kept in the safe. And you notice a lot of them are like items that it seems like these orphans arrived with. Like, it seemed like an orphan was dropped off with something. And a lot of the time, she would take whatever that was and, like, refuse to let them have it. And you flip through, just kind of looking through all of them. I feel like maybe in this state that you're in, you flip very far back into this book. You flip 20 years back. And on yellowed old parchment, in the middle of the page, easily missable, you see your name. You see an item that was confiscated from you when you arrived. You search through the safe, and you find you read the description, you find it. This item it's like a trinket. It's like, it looks like a cobbled together, like, just little trinket. It is, you're not sure quite what it is. It's made of like sea glass and intricate little beads and bottle caps. And on the end of it, it's like all on a string. And on the end of it, there is a silver ring that holds a dark blue stone with white veins. And holding it, you are... Normally with an item such as this, you need to spend time with it to learn what it does. But immediately upon picking it up, it's like you've remembered something that you didn't know that you forgot. And you immediately know what this does. Chat. What does this trinket do? Let's see. Does this trinket engage or defend? Okay, well, this is your last chance. I'll give you 5 more seconds. If you want to vote, engage or defend. I think probably it's going to be engaged, though.
Yep, I think we've got our result.
All right, I'll finish that poll. Looks like it's engage. Fantastic news. Let me bring the chat back from Oblivion. There we go. All right, so you see this trinket. You hold it in your hand. And again,
So, remind us. It was like some bottle caps
So,
and
it's like a string.
other stuff on a string.
So it's like a white string. And it's got a lot of different, like, what a lot of people would consider just, like, junk. It's got, like, sea glass and some different, like, colorful beads. And it's got, like, some different, like, bottle caps. And then at the very end, it is tied to the end of a ring. It's a silver ring with a dark blue gemstone with white veins. And you pick it up, and it's so weird because it's like you read the ledger that said that this was yours, but even if you hadn't, you would have picked it up and immediately have felt like, oh, there it is. Like you had lost it and you didn't know, but you found it again, and it's like, oh, there it is. Oh yeah. You don't remember this. You've probably never seen it before. Not that you remember, but you just have a sense.
And you said this was 11 years ago that it was marked?
No, it was like
how many?
20
or 20 years ago.
like
okay,
1920.
Okay, so like when he was a baby. Got it.
Yeah, but so you pick it up and you know that it is yours. Give me just a quick little investigation check on it as well. You see Ambrose steps in and he says, "Did you find something?"
He doesn't even respond. Is that with advantage or just regular investigation?
With advantage.
Oh, that's lower. Never mind.
Okay.
17.
Okay. As you are like parsing this over and like you're spending a little bit of time with it, you notice as you sort of turn the ring over and focus a little bit more on the ring specifically, and the gemstone, almost like you run your thumb over the gemstone, and it's like you're not sure if it was the light or what, but it's like the white veins like almost like glow for just like a brief second, like crackle almost at your touch. And you see that the ring has an inscription on it. What languages do you speak?
Common, and you said Elvish was the most common to be spoken, right, in town, so Elvish.
You do not recognize the language, but it is familiar to you somehow. There's an inscription, and then on the other side of the ring, under the plate of the gem, there is a small T carved in a cursive font.
Can he recognize what kind of like what the language is, even if he can't like read it? Like is it like primordial?
Give me an intelligence check. Well, I mean,
okay.
You said it. It's you can recognize that it's primordial, but you cannot read it. It is the
Genasi language.
It is the language of Genasi, but you were not raised in a city where that is like a more common language than Common or Elvish, so it was not taught to you.
Okay.
You see Ambrose, sorry, their names are very similar. Ambrose steps kind of around your shoulder, and you see he's like, he doesn't want to impose, but you see he says like, I have magic. If you like, I can like
I have magic.
I can like if you find something interesting like and you don't know what it is, like I have magic and like I can probably tell you what it is, but that's like no.
He says, "You speak primordial?"
You see you've spent like a while in here at this point. I'd say it's been like an hour or two of you guys investigating this place. And this entire time, Ambrose has been very like flirty, very like, you see he's occasionally been like a little bit like serious like while he's investigating, but he's been mostly kind of like blasé, like nonchalant, like kind of flirty. When you say, do you speak primordial? You see he gets like genuinely excited and like not like a fake like, you know, sort of demeanor that he was putting on before. It's sort of like, yes. I speak lots of languages, actually. But I speak primordial. Is there something you'd like me to read?
He shows the thing to him and he says, "What's this say?"
You see he gently takes it from you. Seeing as it's made of like glass and stuff, he's like, oh, that's a strange little thing.
I don't hand it to him. I hold it out, but I
okay.
like hold firm on it.
You see he notices that you're not letting go and he's like, all right. And you see he sort of like rotates the ring a little bit. He's like, you see his brow furrow. He says, oh, interesting. That's cute. He says, this is, I know what this is. Oh, how charming. He says, this is, I don't remember the word, or if there is really a word for it, but this trinket is, this is common in, Rennes. This is a Renesian thing. A primordial thing. Rennes is, Rennes is one of the, it's a floating continent off the coast of the Verloren Wood. It is not high enough to be part of the upper continents. Part of it floats in the sky, and part of it is islands that sit in the sea below. And you know that it is a dominantly air genasi city-state. And he says, yes, this is a Renesian thing. This trinket. It's I believe in Renesian culture. And you see, he started to get like really excited, like talking about like something that he's interested in. He says, like, in Renesian culture, these trinkets, they're made for loved ones, and they're supposed to bring luck. They're like a good luck charm. They're used like adornments, as toys, as like charms. You can make them as anything, basically, but the point of them is that to bring luck. And you see he reads the inscription. He says that it's quite interesting, actually. The inscription literally translates to like protect yourself but fight well. But over the years that phrase has become kind of a common genasi term, and it translates to what today would be said as like be safe but be brave. And you see he like kind of turns it over. He says, that's quite interesting. That's very cute.
He's been staring at it while he says all that, and he flips it over to the tea and looks at it again. And can I like, I don't know, rack my brain to see if I know of any Air Genasi whose name starts with T?
Not one that you can think of.
All right.
You've spent about a half an hour turning this thing over in your hand. And as Ambrose is like explaining it to you, and
Half an hour. God damn. I'm entranced by this thing.
it is dark outside at this point. Night has fully fallen. Ambrose has lit some of the like lights in here. And you see that feeling as you are holding it, that feeling of like this is mine kind of like grows to the point where you have not almost an epiphany of like, I know what this does. You're holding it and you're like, you're certain that you know what it is and what it does. Or not, well, he's explained to you, like, as he's been saying, like, it's a good luck charm. It brings luck. You're holding it, and you know that this will give you, it was engage, correct? That was the poll. You are certain that this trinket will give you advantage on an attack once per long rest.
Ooh. I can get luck when I really gotta kill someone, when I really gotta stick it to a guy.
Mm-hmm. So you can add the good luck charm to your inventory. It's your first magic item.
Oh wait, did you make an item?
Mm-hmm. I'll add it to your like D&D Beyond later, but it's your first little magic item.
I think it actually already exists. Yeah, I can just add it. Yeah, you I think I'm able to see the items that you made for your campaign.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's that one's for you then. You put that in there. Wait, I made 2, I think, because one of them was the result of the other poll. I'm not sure which one. What does it say?
I don't think it says what it does.
Okay.
Oh, it says once per long rest can grant advantage on a melee attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's supposed to say any attack. It's not specifically just melee. Whatever. I'll fix that later. Anyway.
Okay.
That's our poll. That's your little magic trinket.
Neat.
But yeah, Ambrose finishes explaining all of that to you. And he says, "Oh, that's very unique. Interesting to find one here in Kala. It's a Renesian thing."
I think he, like, I get that the idea is it's supposed to be like worn around the neck, but he's got a lot of stuff around his neck as it is.
It's a trinket. He was saying like people use them as lots of different things. It's like it can be like a keychain, it can be a bracelet, a necklace. Like it can be used as like a keychain.
I think he's gonna tie it around his dominant arm, like a bracelet, around his non-bandaged arm.
Okay.
His sword arm.
Oh.
I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Advantage on melee.
Mm-hmm. Cute. Yeah, it fits perfectly. Like it was made to fit around your
Damn, that's crazy. They knew exactly what my wrist size would be when I was an adult. This person knows too much about me. Is there anything else in the safe?
There are a couple other items in there. It seems like she tries not to keep items for a super long time. The safe's not very big. So it seems like a lot of these items have been discarded. Yours was at like the very back, like under a bunch of other shit. It seems like it's been maybe a little while since she's had time to like clean it out. So it seems likely it was just like passed over.
But are there any of the other kids stuff in there? I know a lot of it's been tossed out, you said, but like, is there any that's like left in?
You don't find any from any of your friends specifically. You find
Gotcha. Damn.
Like there's a lot of like random stuff in there. But yeah, nothing that catches your eye and nothing that says it was attributed to any of your friends.
Is there a way that you can close this safe without relocking it?
Yeah, it's got a big like latch on the front, so you can shut it, but it won't like.
Okay.
You know.
I think he closes it but doesn't lock it.
Okay. You close it but do not lock it. And Ambrose kind of steps back out of the room and gives you your space to continue investigating. He says,
actually, on second thought, he locks it.
Okay, you relock it.
And he remembers the code.
Okay, you write the code down. You push the heavy lock back into place. Ambrose kind of says like, all right, well, is that it? It's sort of the last room. Have you done your analysis?
I think he once again is not paying attention to Ambrose, and he's walking back downstairs, but he stops at the top of the stairs, hand on a banister, and thinks for a minute. Okay. And then he looks over his shoulder at Ambrose and says,
What do you know about the Revelia?
The Revelia. You see, he sort of like tilts his head and he says, "Oh, it sounds familiar. The Revelia, the Revelia, the Revelia, Revelia." You see, he sort of goes into this like he's repeating the word and like looking around, and he's like kind of like fidgeting with his fingers. He goes, "Revelia, Revelia, the carnival."
Damn. Not that big of a deal in this town, it seems.
He goes, "The carnival. Oh, the Revelia. Oh, that was a long time ago. Yes, I remember. I never went myself. They are, they travel the world, and, or they used to. They're not around anymore, I don't think. Or at least I haven't seen them in quite a while. I haven't heard anything about them in quite some time. Oh, actually, you know what? So they used to travel the world. They used to travel the world, but then I heard that the ringmaster got tired of traveling. He wanted to set down in a permanent location. And I believe his whole thing was like, it's been a while, but if I can recall, I believe he wanted somewhere that was sort of rife with magic. He said it helped his acts. So I believe they went somewhere, Lavian, or perhaps the Valoran Wood. The Valoran Wood is quite a magical place. But it could have been near Lavian because that's, one of the, near Tel Palace, the world tree over there. Although no one's going there much these days. And he says, but I'm afraid I don't know too much more about it.
He says,
actually, you know what? I have a friend. I have a lot of friends, if you can believe that. Yavanna. Yavanna is her name. She lives in, what's that little dinky town? What is it called? Oh, it's so quaint. What the fuck was it called? Ivywood. I have a friend named Yavanna, and she lives in Ivywood in Lavian. And you know what? She went there, I believe, because I think it was her that told me about it. Yes. Oh, I haven't spoken to her in quite some time. But you know what? I think if anybody was going to know more about that, it would be her.
what was the name you said?
Yavanna.
How do you spell that? Y-V-O-N-N-E?
No. Y-A-V-A-N-N-A. Yavanna.
Oh. Okay.
He says, I don't actually know that many people that were able to attend. It was quite an exclusive affair. As much as, you'd want people to come to your carnival, it was kind of like you needed a ticket, right? It was sort of invite only. But she went, and that was quite some time ago. But I believe it was after they had set down permanently. So I believe if anybody would know where it was, she would probably know.
So the Revelia wasn't. So was the Revelia ever actually in?
Yes.
Like set up and operating like outside of Rion?
Yes. So it used to be a traveling carnival. They traveled the world. They went to all these different places. And then
So they did set up outside of town.
Yes.
And
yeah,
do
that's
like
why
okay.
Amber wanted to go, because it was outside of Rion. And then, Ambrose just said they wanted to set up a permanent location, and that's, somewhere on the other continent. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if they had ever actually set up in Rion or not.
Yeah, they used to. A long time ago, but yes.
He says, anything weird ever happen when they were set up here before?
Oh, I don't know. I've lived in Rion a good bit of time now, but that might have been too long ago even for me. I'm not sure. You know what? I know a lot of things about a lot of different things. History is kind of my forte, but unfortunately, I never attended, and I only heard about it from her after they had already set down their permanent location, so unfortunately I'm not sure. But I mean, it's a carnival, so I'm sure, you know, it's like every other carnival out there, you know, lots of tricks and not quite so many you know, actual magic going on, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "Wait, why are you asking about the Revelia? Does it have something? Does it have something to do with these missing children? Are you telling me these children ran away to the circus? Is that what you're saying to me?"
He doesn't even answer just yet. He's like kind of looking at the floor and thinking again, and like tapping a finger on the banister. So, you said that he said that was it the laundry room that enchantment was detected in, or was it just generally everywhere downstairs?
Yes. So downstairs, he said enchantment was found in the laundry room. And then I forgot to mention, when he brought you upstairs, he said enchantment was found in the dormitories, and conjuration was found here on the landing.
Interesting. So already I'm like running spells through my head. I'm gonna roll to see if I think that I should even bring this up as Alestain.
I mean, you can give me an arcana and I can tell you, I don't know, something.
I'm gonna roll, but I'm rolling to see if I think I should let myself.
Okay. I mean, you can tell me what it is and I'll tell you if Alestain would know that based on his, like, you know, his education. You know,
I got a 14.
Okay. What's your DC?
So
Why are you rolling?
I guess I'll let him have this thought.
Okay.
Listen, I've been DMing for a while. I'm trying to like not give myself all the knowledge of D&D spells.
You're also with the resident magic user who could probably like, you know, if you're gonna talk to anybody about magic about this, it would be him.
So like, okay, enchantment is typically like a lot of like charm person, charm creatures, charm monsters, ways of like getting around just like social interactions and stuff like that. And then conjuration's usually like teleportation spells and like creating things. I say teleportation because I'm wondering if all the children were perhaps charmed and led to this landing and teleported away, whisked away in the night. What I'm not sure about is why there would be enchantment in the laundry room. I assume that whatever entity came in here probably, like, I don't know, did enchantment downstairs to make the sisters not, like, you know, do anything, like stop them. But I don't know. I don't know why it would be the laundry room. I guess they had stopped mid laundry folding, so maybe they were enchanted at that time somehow.
Ambrose did mention that the head matron was being held for questioning at the stockades. And he also likely has her account of what she recalls.
I mean, he's probably gonna go visit her.
Okay.
Hear it straight from the horse's mouth, right? He trying to decide if he wants to let Ambrose in on this or not.
Ambrose is eagerly waiting for you to speak to him.
I think so the thing is, now that he saw that flyer, this is like super personal for Alestain, and he don't fucking play around when it comes to his friends.
Right.
So while like the logical part of me wants to like be like, hey, do you detect any magic on this flyer or this ticket? Like, I don't know that Alestain would want to show him.
Don't, you know, I know that you're trying to think about it like your DM brain, but I'm like, play your character however you want to play him. Whatever you want to do. There is no wrong answer.
He keeps tapping on the banister, and he says, after like a really long pause, he says, "I gotta talk to the head matron."
Ember goes, "Oh, of course. Like I said, she's being held for questioning at the stockades." And you see he looks at the clock on the wall and he says, "However, it is rapidly, night is quickening, so you'll probably have to do it in the morning."
He says,
"Do you have a place to stay for
"I
the
can't
for the
wait
night?"
till morning."
You see, he says, "Well, there are guards on duty at night at the stockades, but it's late. She's probably asleep."
He shows the badge again and he says, "Does this count for nothing?"
He goes, "Well, who gave that to you anyway?"
He says, "Cyrus."
Oh, Cyrus. Okay. You see, he kind of like takes you in again, and he says, "Right, Cyrus."
He's calling me poor with his eyes,
No,
dude.
you see, he gets a little more like flirty. Like you see, he goes like, "Cyrus." Okay. Well, a friend of Cyrus is a friend of mine. It is late, and I cannot guarantee anything, but come with me. I will take you to the stockades, and we will see what can be done. And he saunters back down. He goes, "Oh, are you done here? Are we done? Are we going now?"
He says, "Yeah, matron time."
Okay. Follow me, Rummy. And he winks at you, and he walks down the stairs.
He doesn't even respond to that.
The two of you walk back down to the first floor. You see Kaz posted up by the front door. He sees the two of you walk back down the stairs, and one of the first and only things you've ever heard him say is like, "Are we done here?" And Ambrose is like, "Yes, Kazi, we're done. We're going to go to the stockades now. Be a dear and follow." And you see he kind of glances outside, and glances back to him and rolls his eyes, and opens the door, and heads out first. And you see sort of like leads the way, but in a way that's like, not like I'm leading, just kind of like I'm going there and you're also happen to be going there. Like very like blasé about it. Okay, yeah, so you quit this place.
I'm telling you, dude, there's some kind of history between these two.
You walk out into the cool night air. It is fully nighttime. It's probably like 8:30, almost 9. And it is, the stockades are up in Providence. Let me pull up. You walk up. It takes, are you quick in your pace now that this is personal? With a quickened pace, you probably actually get ahead of Kaz, who's walking like kind of nonchalantly. And you see, as you like get up past him, he's like, "What the fuck?" And like he's like, "Oh shit, all right, I guess we're walking fast now." He like looks back at Ambrose, and Ambrose is just like excitedly like following you. Yep, so you make your way up through Midtown. Nighttime here is, it's almost magical in its own way. It's like a quiet desert with 1,000 fireflies. All the lights of the city are dim, save lampposts, and the lights of the houses that can be seen all throughout the city. You see, as you make your way Midtown, so the way that Rion is structured, let me pull up the map just so you can get a better picture. The way that Rion is built is it is built on a slant. So it is like the East End and the Temple District are kind of at the base. Midtown is built on a slant, and so the buildings are built in such a way that it's like on a hill, if that makes sense, like on an incline.
That would explain why the first floor of the temple was like,
It had a
when
balcony.
you go back enough in the temple, it had a balcony. Yeah.
Yes. And Providence is up high on the cliffside. And so you make your way up through Midtown. Everyone's kind of, there's a couple people on the streets. There's a few taverns that are open that you pass where there's like music and like dancing and lights and a couple people spilling onto the streets. But you step through the shadows, make your way past them, up into Providence, and it is significantly nicer in this part of the city. There are more guards, but the buildings here are almost pristine. The flora and fauna taken care of, like hedges trimmed neatly, fountains in every square. And it's you turn a corner through a neighborhood and you look out over the entire city, and I'm not sure that you've seen this view before. Your city at night on this cliff. It's beautiful. The city holds many things. And right now, not all of those things are good.
Can he wait? So like, if it's on a slant, can he like see the orphanage from here, or is it not that much of a slant?
No, you can see the orphanage from here. You can see the dim lights as you. Well, it's you turn the lights off as you left, but you can see the red topped roof near the front of the gates. You see Kaz.
I think it sickens him more knowing that all the wealthy were just able to see him suffering down there.
You pass, as you move through Midtown, you pass the street that has the other orphanage, where currently all of the children from the Ashworth orphanage, the one you grew up in, are currently being held as the investigation continues. So you pass that street, and you don't see any of them on the street. It's late. Curfew is in place, but you know that that's where they are. And you make your way up into Providence.
So this is a second orphanage, or is it?
It's a big city. There are a few orphanages. So yours is sort of the main one, the Ashworth Orphanage in the East End. And then this is a smaller one that was opened more recently in Midtown.
Okay.
Sorry, the music stopped. That's not what I wanted.
I just wasn't sure if it was an orphanage or just a place that was being repurposed to be an orphanage.
When I say that this is a large city, I mean this is this is the trade capital of the world. This is the capital of Rion. It is a metropolis. It is 25,000 people plus, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Just for like an understanding of size. So you make your way to Providence. Ambrose and Kaz lead the way. You see.
Opal said, "How many orphans are there in this city?" I mean, I would say the same, except I feel like there would actually be quite a few since there was like a war at that time, right?
Yeah, the Civil War.
War creates a lot of orphans.
The resistance, the rebellion that happened that usurped the Sultan is only a few years past at this point. And there was a siege on the city. So you make your way past.
So we're rich in orphans, is what we're getting at.
Currently. So you pass the royal palace. You see its tall, trimmed hedges, a light with like fairy lights almost. It gives the whole place kind of like an ethereal like look about it. And to the side, you see a very big, like it's like a mini fortress in this place, and it's a place that you know well, the stockades.
Damn, they stockaded me.
I mean, it's a place that you've heard of plenty,
Oh, okay.
if you have not been to.
Damn, fucking stockading a child. That's crazy.
As you, the three of you sort of enter this place, you see Ambrose kind of turns to you and like leans in, and he says like, "Let me do the talking." And he walks in first, and Kaz follows. Well, actually, Kaz gets to the door, leans against the wall, and kind of motions for you to head inside. And he says, "I'll be here. Good luck."
Okay.
And
Goes
so
in.
Ambrose walks inside. And you see there's a little, sort of like reception area, if you will. You walk in, there's a guard at the desk. It's late. There's not many people here. You see the guard kind of was like doing some paperwork, like looking like he's trying not to fall asleep. You see as Ambrose walks in, he looks up and kind of like, oh, he goes like, "Who's there?" And then he goes, "Oh, Ambrose. Advisor, how can I help you?" And you see Ambrose like saunters up to the desk and he goes, "Hello. Can you do me a little favor?" And you see the guard like kind of like smiles and like, kind of like notices you in the background and kind of like yeah. What well, I mean, it's late, you know, what kind of favor? Like what do you need? And Ambrose goes, "My friend here has been conscripted by the council. And there is someone that we need to speak to immediately. It's quite important. And a matter of utmost importance." And you see the guard like kind of sighs. He says, "It's, you know, it's late. Like, you can't wait until the morning." And Ambrose goes, "No, darling. Did you not hear when I said it was utmost importance? It's quite immediate." And the guard kind of is like, I don't know. And you see Ambrose kind of like leans in and is like brushes his arm a little bit. And he says, "Are you sure you can't do anything?" And the guard's like blushing. He goes, all right, just the one, and just like make it quick, all right?" And you see he like gets up and like fumbles with his keys and says, "Oh, thank you, darling." And you see he looks back at you and winks as the guard leads you into the stockades.
Normally I think Alestain would want to tease the guard a little bit and then like laugh or something, but he's completely expressionless, watches Ambrose
watches
when he nods him, and then follows him.
Okay. You follow him into the stockades. You see cold stone walls and iron grates. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to... There we go. The guard leads you back a bit. Not to a cell, but it's more of a, like, holding chamber. She hasn't been arrested. She is just being held for questioning. And so this is... It's a locked room, but it has, like... It's like a bedroom. It's got like a bed. There is a little like bathroom area and like a little desk. It's pretty bare bones, but it's not like a cell. And you see.
So wait, what all is in here?
It's just like a bed. There's a little like curtained off like bathroom sort of area, and then there's just like a table, and like a chair. So it's like somewhere where someone's being held, but not like arrested, if that makes sense.
Detained, but
Yeah.
not. It's it's not a dedicated cell. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of like a room that they're like, well, she's gonna be here, but we're not gonna put her in like a cell. And
It kind of sounds like she's being detained, but all right.
I'm just describing what you see.
Okay.
So you walk up to this door, and Ember says, "Oh, she's in here," and he says, "Yes, the head matron Talus is in here. Please just."
Is Talus the same head matron that was head matron when Alestain was there?
Yes.
Okay.
He says, "All right, just like make it quick, please, and don't tell Captain Killian about this." And Amber goes, "Oh, darling, my lips are sealed." And he kind of like blushes and looks away. And you see he's gonna like he knocks on the door, and then unlocks it and like motions for the two of you to go in, but is like standing outside until you guys are done. And the two of you enter the room. You see the head matron is sitting in the one chair, reading a book by like candlelight. There's no windows in here. And you see she looks up, and she says, "Am I being called on this late? Whatever could you need? I've told you everything already." And you see Ambrose goes, "Good evening, head matron Talus. We've someone here to question you a little more, if that's all right."
He actually, as he's saying that, I think he cuts him off a little bit and puts a hand on Ambrose's shoulder and kind of pulls him back a little bit to like indicate like, "I got this."
He goes, "Oh." You put your hand on his shoulder, and he goes, "Oh, by all means." And he like,
oh my god.
he steps back. You see, he steps back and like leans against the door and just kind of like lets you have this.
I think as Alestain approaches her, he like cracks his neck and like kind of gets back into like his like usual self. And he says, "Long time no see, Talus. Or do you not remember me?"
You see she sort of like tilts her head, squints at you, and she goes, "Oh, you're still alive, are you? Those blood hunters didn't make mincemeat of you?"
He says, "Hey, Talus, for once, I don't got fucking time for your shit. You got it?"
She goes, "My, they certainly didn't teach you manners when they took you away."
As
bite
she's
your
saying
tongue.
that, midway through doing that, I want to attempt to intimidate her. He pulls his dagger and slams it into the table, like millimeters from her fingers.
Ooh. Well, she's reading a book.
And in the book, then.
Okay. Oh. Poor book.
And he says, "I said, cut the crap.
You see,
I want every detail."
you see, she like raises her eyebrows at you. Roll me an intimidation check. Ambrose behind you when you pull a knife out and do that, instead of being like, "Hey," he goes like, "Ooh."
Oh my god. This man's gonna get himself. Oh my god, it's a nat 20!
Woo! Holy shit! This woman's gonna tell you everything she
What
knows.
a fucking roll to get a nat 20 on!
Damn, you really need this information. This woman is.
Yo,
this woman
Alestain is not fucking playing around right now.
This woman pees her pants. No. It is 9, by the way. So I don't know if you needed to run ads again or.
We ran ads a little bit later last time because I kept snoozing them.
Okay.
So we can go a little longer without ads.
Okay. We're probably gonna go to like 9:30, I think, again, if that's all right.
Fine by me.
Okay. You roll a natural 20. She
Yeah.
jumps back, absolutely astonished. True fear in her eyes. She begins to like visibly sweat. And she is like, what, what do you want to know? I've told them everything that happened already.
He says all of it again, and be sure you don't forget anything.
She complies and is quite scared. Ambrose is silent behind you. You see, she says, well, we had dinner as normal. The children washed up. They went to bed. I put the kids to sleep. We said we said our sunset prayers. We had dinner. They washed up. I put them to sleep. There are sparing orphans these days, at least at our orphanage. So, I was the one doing their laundry that night. I was down in the laundry room. I was doing the laundry. And you see she kind of like, she starts like, she's trying to remember and is having a difficult time. You see, she says, I recall hearing footsteps. One of the kids had gotten out of bed, so I went to put them back to bed. And that's it. And that's all.
And what do you remember after that? What's the next thing you remember?
Waking up the next morning.
Where?
In my bed. Well, no, not in her bed. She says, on the floor. On the floor
Of the laundry room?
Of the laundry room. My head cut open. You see, she has a bandage on her head. And it's well, about a week ago. There's not a bandage anymore. You see a shallow cut that is like scabbed over on her forehead. Sorry, I had to remember what happened. Give me an insight check with advantage because of that intimidation check, because of that at 20.
Oh, okay. Ooh. You said insight?
Mm-hmm.
The advantage really helped. 23.
Oh, yeah. At first, you're not sure if it's because she's nervous and scared of you, or if she just genuinely can't remember. But you see, as she's recalling the events, there's like a little tell that she has. And you know that there is something else. But she is afraid of remembering it, and so she does not bring it up. But you think that if you push a little bit, you might get it out of her.
Ooh, I get to intimidate her more, dude. I'm excited. I think he pulls the dagger out of the book, and in kind of like a depth maneuver, he kind of like suddenly pushes her chair back, like knocking it back, but then like catching one of the legs with his foot and puts the dagger to her neck. Basically, if she falls back, she'll hit her head. If she goes forward, she'll hit the knife.
Okay.
She'll like cut her neck with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
I said every detail.
You see true fear in her eyes as she beholds you. The cold knife pressed to her throat. You see she very shakily takes a breath, tries not to breathe too much as not to cut her throat. She just says, "Yellow and orange. I just remember yellow and orange, but nothing else. I swear, nothing else."
That's after the footsteps.
Yes.
Were the ticket and the flyer yellow and orange?
The ticket was golden. And the flyer was just, I mean, it had some red on it. And there was red on the back of it, but you don't know. You know what? On a with that natural 20 intimidation, I'll give you a little bit more. Because I'm feeling nice. I feel nice and I love you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She says, as she sort of says yellow and orange, she seems to like squint really hard and she says, "Yellow eyes. Yellow eyes and orange hair." But that
Was the clown on the ticket? Did that clown have yellow eyes and orange hair?
The clown was wearing a mask. One eye was completely black, and the other one, I believe, had a yellow eye.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, she says, like, "That is all. I swear on my life, there is nothing else that I remember. Believe me, I have tried desperately. You think I don't want those kids found? I cannot remember."
He twirls the knife and like retucks it in his pocket, and he kicks his foot down, replanting her chair firmly on the ground. And he says, "Yeah, you don't get your paycheck otherwise." And he turns his back to her and starts heading out.
Okay. You see Ambrose is kind of like posted up against the back door, just like watching all of this happen. And then as you like turn towards him, he goes, "Oh, are we done? Okay." And he opens the door for you, and he turns back and he goes, "Always lovely chatting with you, Talus. Good evening." And turns and closes the door behind you. He turns to the guard and says, "We're all done here, I think, unless you need to speak to anyone else."
He shakes his head and starts heading for the exit.
"Right then. No one else. Have a good night." And the guard goes, "Yeah, you too. You too." And relocks the door, and you three head back out, back into the sort of front office, and he sort of bids you adieu. And the three of you exit the stockade. You see Kaz kind of was like, and you see like, you walk out and he like steps forward and he goes, "Are we done here? Can we go?" And Ambrose goes, "Yes, Kazi, we can go." And you see Ambrose turns to you and says like, it's quite late. Is there anything else that I can do to help you? Do you have somewhere to stay for the night?
How late would you say it is?
It was probably, if you were rushing, probably another 30 to 45 minutes to get to the stockades. And you were probably in there for about 30-ish minutes, I would say. So at this, probably like 11-ish, maybe pushing 11:30.
Does Alestain have any idea how to get in touch with the Queen of Rags?
You know that Dandelion. You know that you don't know, but you know people who do. Your best bets would either be Dandelion or Old Cyrus. Although, you know Old Cyrus expressly warned you against speaking with her, but you know that he could get in touch with her if he wanted to.
And wait, and Dandelion could too?
Yes, they both have been a point of contact for her. Not that you've ever met her, but
I think he just says, I need a drink.
Ambrose nods, like completely understands that. And he's like, of course. Did you want, he says, I know a few taverns if you'd like some company, but otherwise, I understand. You won't hurt my feelings, darling.
He says, you wouldn't like it there.
Oh, darling, you don't know the places I've been, but I shall leave you to your night then. You see he kind of fishes around in his cloak. He pulls out a business card and he hands it to you. And he says, find me if you need something. I know lots of things, and I know magic, of course. So, if you need me, I'm around. And then he turns to leave and then stops and turns back to you and he says, on another note, the mothers of two of the children who are missing, their names are Hope and Niobe Dragna. They are privateers in occasional service to the council. They would appreciate any knowledge of what you find, and they can be quite helpful if you need a ride. If you need them, seek out the Jewel of Rayon at the docks.
Before he leaves, he says, one more thing.
Of course, love.
Your friend Yavanna,
Yes.
you said she went to attend the Revelia, right?
Yes, if I recall correctly. It was quite some time ago, but yes, I do recall.
You ever hear from her again?
You see he tilts his head. He goes very quiet. She lives in Ivywood. In Lavian. He pulls out a piece of parchment. He writes down an address, and he hands it to you. He says, this was her last known residence. I see he bites his lip. He says, I recall a great many things, Rummy. But this I cannot recall. Do let me know if you find her.
He says, yeah. Don't, and he gave him a business card. He thumbs the business card and he says, look, if you write her, I don't know.
He says,
Don't expect the response back.
He says, oh, I don't. Oh, it's been quite a while since have written people, darling. It's, magic is more my messaging speed these days. I suppose I could try to message her, though it will take me a little time. Come find me tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I've gotten a response from her.
He nods.
He says, I've a little place in Midtown. Come by if you are around. Across from the Quill and Honey. And then he gives you a very dramatic bow, and he says, and I bid you adieu. Come along, Kazi. And you see Kaz like rolls his eyes, gives you kind of a slight like nod goodbye, and follows after Ambrose as they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you are left to your night.
So we have 5 minutes before we have to run another ad.
Okay.
I don't know how late you wanted to go. But his next destination is probably just back to Dandelion's Tavern.
Okay. I think that'll probably be a good place to end it for the night. So let's move ahead. We move to Dandelion's Tavern. I actually got a new oh, did I add it for this? Oh, I did. It's in here. Okay. Whew. I got a little scene for her tavern. You head back to Lowtown, make your way down into the depths. You find Dandelion. This place is a little busier than the last time you were here. It's night now. There's a few more patrons in here. There's some music kicking up. You see there's a few people that Dandelion is like serving at the bar. And you see Feather is actually like running food to like a table. She's like kind of like not a commission. What am I trying to say? She's like a waitress for the night. Because she's like around. You walk back in, and you see Feather like put some food down, looks back at you. She goes, Alestain, and her feathers kind of like preen up a little bit. And she like runs up to you, and you see Dandelion is like serving and like looks up at you and kind of nods, like acknowledging you, and like kind of goes back to serving. But Feather runs up to you all excited. She goes, Alestain, you're back.
Says, I'm back. How's the night been?
Busy. Dandelion. Whoa, sorry, wrong accent. Dandelion, she like leans in. She really don't know how to do math, Alestain. Her ledgers, her inventory was all fucked up. And she goes, but did you find anything?
He says, I don't know yet, but I think I have something. I just don't know what yet.
Okay. Well, if you need something.
How far away is Lavian from I
Lavian,
like mixed the word up in my head.
Yeah.
How far away is that
Dragon
from where
Age.
we currently are?
Lavian is across the world. It is on the other continent, across the ocean. By boat, it is probably going to be a few weeks' journey. But in Rion, they have the aerodrome here. So if you took an airship, it, depending on the route, could take a day or two. Depending on the passenger vessel and if they're going elsewhere, if they have layovers. Ambrose did mention that Niobe,
The privateers.
they have a vessel.
And is it an airship vessel or is it like a boat vessel?
He did not say. He just said seek them out near the docks and to
Well, are the docks like
the docks
water docks or are they like air docks?
So the docks are where the boats are, but it's also where the aerodrome is. So he could have meant either.
Gotcha.
But he mentioned that their vessel was called the Jewel of Rion.
Okay. All right. He says Feather, did any of the kids talk about the Revelia?
See, she kind of squints. The Revelia? No? What's that? That's a funny word. Did you come up with that?
Says, no, I'm not sure. and he says, I think it might be involved. Hang on, I gotta talk to Dandelion. And he
Okay.
looks around and sees how busy it is, and he says, I'll just wait until it settles down in here. Whenever you guys get a chance, just I'll be at the end of the bar.
Okay. She goes, it's probably not gonna settle down in here till dawn, so you might be waiting a bit. You sure? She points upstairs. She goes, we got a couple empty rooms. You wanna take a rest and, talk to her in the morning?
Says, no, I ain't gonna sleep till I've talked to her.
Jeez, all right. You see Feather runs up to the bar, kind of whispers with Dandelion. Dandelion, looks at you, and she goes, and then, she sends Feather away. You see Feather runs upstairs. Dandelion, finishes serving a drink to someone and, kind of saunters up to you. She goes, what's up, pretty boy? You back? You find out,
Pretty boy.
you find out something or what?
He says, Dandelion, I know, what I'm about to ask is gonna sound crazy, okay?
I love crazy, first of all, so don't forget that. Second, what? What is it?
He says, you still in contact with the queen these days?
You see, she goes from being nonchalant to, at attention. You see, she kind of, looks around. And she goes, lower your voice. And you see, she kind of, pushes your head so you're, lower. And the two of you are, hunched together at the counter. She goes, what do you want with the queen?
Says, I don't know yet. Just keeping my options open. So, are you?
She kind of, yeah, I can get a message to her, or what do you need? You want to you need a message sent to her, or what?
It's curious if there's any way you could make it so we could talk.
You want to meet her?
Maybe. Just asking right now.
Well, look, I ain't saying I can't do it, but it'll cost you, and more than you might think.
And he says, I think I might be good for it.
All right, but only 'cause I like yous. You see, she kind of her little dandelion poff tail twitches, and she her ears kind of perk up, and she kind of scans, and her eyes land on a guy in a back table playing a card game. And you see, she kind of goes, yeah. All right, give me a little bit, and I'll see what I can do.
He says, wait. Don't do nothing yet.
She goes,
Just want to know
wanna
that you
talk to
can
her?
get in contact with
want
her.
to talk to her or not? Yeah, I can.
Okay. And you think you can secure a meeting between me and her?
I can try. It's
All right.
She leans in. She kind of says it's whether or not she wants to meet you. You know.
He says, all right, I might have ways of making myself more interesting. And he says, you got a room open for me? I need a crash.
She squints at you. She says, "Yeah, okay." But only because you're so pretty. She squints. Or she winks. Anyway. Yeah, Dandelion nods. And she says, yeah, of course. I've always got a place for you if you need it. But only because you're pretty. And she nods to the stairs and she says, go to bed. We'll talk in the morning. And she indicates to the stairs heading up.
How much does she usually charge for rooms?
I mean, it depends. She kind of overcharges depending on the customer, so it can depend. But and it also depends on how many nights. If it's just for tonight, you know, probably like 2 or 3 gold.
Okay.
Was it
He
like plus
puts
food?
he puts 3 gold on the bar, and he says, and I won't accept no. I'm good for it. And he slides it over to her.
She squints down at it. She accepts it, and then you see, without like making without breaking eye contact, she like gets a bowl of like soup and like bread and like a drink together, puts it on a tray and hands it to you. She says, "Go to bed."
He says, "Thanks, Dandelion. Seriously." And he takes it with him.
She nods. And then she kind of looks around and goes, "Where the hell did Feather go? Table 4 needs bussin'." And then you make your way upstairs. And you find Feather in one of the rooms. She has like kind of cleaned up the space in here a little bit for you. Like, she's kind of like blown some of the dust off of stuff and like just made it a little bit more homey for you. She goes, "Here you go."
It says, "Thanks, Feather. Looks nice."
"Yeah, I know." She goes,
And he says, "We're gonna get him back, okay? I promise."
"Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not, of course we're gonna get him back. Like, I'm not worried about that. I'm just like, where are they? Anyway." She goes, "Anyway," and you hear Dandelion calling her from downstairs. She goes, "All right, I gotta go, but sleep good, whatever. I'll probably be here in the morning too, so see you at breakfast."
Says, "Yeah, I'll see you then."
She kind of scurries off down the stairs. You sit in your room, eat your dinner. This place is warm despite the incessant cold of Lowtown. You have a little fireplace in your room. This is like one of the nicer rooms that Dandelion has. You see Feather put like extra blankets on your bed for you.
I think he kind of like does that like sigh when he like finally like lets his guard down a little bit, and doesn't have to be like on. And I think he just sits on the bed and like kind of runs a hand through his hair and kind of runs everything through his mind that's happened that day and everything they went over. Kind of weighing his options. I think that so I don't know how it works in your world, but typically in D&D rules, it's like you don't necessarily have to sleep in order to get the effects of a long rest.
You just have to be,
I think,
not doing much.
I think he maybe doesn't sleep all that much that night. I think he's up for a while, like picking at the food and thinking about things and like kind of stressing a bit.
Yeah. I think that you lay there for a while, sleep evading you. You watch. This room has a window, but it's like up, because you are below ground level. You see the bed is comfortable and the room is warm, but you're too worried to sleep well. And I think as you run over the events of the day, all the little details, I think that you feel Harry crawl out from your scarf and sit on your chest and just like curl up there. And I think even though you might not be sleeping, you're in that sort of fugue state between awake and asleep where nothing feels quite real. And you just hear the priestess's words again. The chosen of light shall wield death to avenge what was lost. We pan out of this place, up into the night sky overlooking Rion. And that is where we will end our episode for today.